Are you gonna talk about something when you do that?
Oh, just like about stuff that's been going on. Like we're gonna like me and him have been wanting to like we've been wanting to have a like a recorded discussion about everything that's happening because we both have a lot of thoughts on it.
Oh, like you
Um,
said Gemini, the Gemini situation.
Gemini and just
Yeah.
every like and that topic in general, like that whole thing in general.
What
It's a
something. It's
oh
certainly
something indeed.
something that's a mess, man.
I
That
I
whole thing
don't
was
even.
I don't know, man. That whole thing was something.
I haven't experienced anything quite like it. It was ridiculous.
Yeah, no. It was certainly somebody said, "Can you try this game called Brawlhalla?" And the only reason I'm bringing it up is I don't know if you've seen it, but like in the Gemini apology video, I went through the whole thing on my stream, and
Yes,
yeah,
yeah.
and he's like, "Oh, by the way, guys, add me on Brawlhalla," and I was like, "Really not the place, man. Really not the
I didn't
place."
get a chance to watch the whole thing,
Yeah, it was bad.
but are you kidding me?
It was not good. I honestly wanted to stay away from it because I don't know, man. It was just it's something that I feel is like a legal matter, and like
Yeah.
I got to a point where I was like, okay, I'm staying out of it. And then like when he made that apology video on TikTok, I was like, okay, I'll take a look at it. Everybody wanted me to take a look at it, and it just pissed me off because of the language. And then they're like, oh, there's a whole. Then I saw there was a whole YouTube video, and I
Mhm.
was like, all right, let's just go through it. And as I watched it, I got like more and more frustrated.
Yeah.
Just such a bit. And then it actually got worse. I never posted it, but it got worse because I went through it live. That whole thing happened. I think then another period of time later, he stopped by my stream because he posted like another apology on his thing because everybody was like, "Shit."
Another one.
What was really pissing me off is that people were so positive about his first one, and that like I was
Yep.
like, "What are you kidding me?" And then like once I made my video, it seemed like the narrative shifted very quickly.
Mhm.
And then but then he came in another time later after another one. I went through it. I was like, "Oh, this is ridiculous." He was in here and he started like chatting. He's like, "Why don't you just leave me alone?" And then we had like whatever back and forth. He didn't come in the stream. He was in my chat. And then I said,
Yep.
"Listen, dude. Honestly, I would have just stayed away if you legitimately apologized." But I said you should have came in and said, "Listen." Something to the effect of like, listen, I was in a like shitty mentality or like high school mentality, fucking around too much. Like I did those things and it was wrong, and like I'm sorry. He made a video about it that's like right after that on TikTok where it was like, oh, Papa Gut like basically supports me, blah blah blah, and I lost it on stream. And he pulled it down like a minute later because I said this is good. I said, bro, I said this is it. Like you're done. Like I'm gonna drag this shit out of you. And then
Oh
he
my
removed it.
god.
Bro, it just seems like he's just saying whatever he feels needs to be said.
And the whole thing, like when the first thing came out, when he commented like, "Oh yeah, guys, she's right. She was 15, I was 19. Let's get over it." And he
Yeah.
commented that. It's
Yep.
like, "What are you doing?" I was DMing with him at the time. That's when I was still like I was confused on what's going on, and so I hadn't like completely cut him off yet.
Right. Yeah.
And I was DMing with him and he was like, "I just said that because like I thought like, it would be like if I said it, it would get people to be like, it would end things."
Yeah.
And I was like, "What are you talking
He
about?"
messaged me too. He messaged me that day and he said, "Oh, she basically manipulated me into saying it, and I only said it, and I only said it so that she would take the stuff down." And I'm like, bro, you're gonna admit to being I don't want to use any like bad boy words on here, but you're admitting to being a child predator just to take a post down. It doesn't make sense.
Take a post.
I don't think he understands what he was doing was wrong. I don't
No.
I don't think
No.
he's an actual. Here's my thing. I know it's weird. I don't think he's an actual child predator. I think that he just like goes after women who like are like not dumb, but like ignorant because they're young,
Yeah,
and
or
it's not
in
because
less of
they're
a state to resist.
yeah, it's not because they're young. He goes after them. It's because they're very impressionable.
Mhm.
Um, and it's still gross, but
It's disgusting.
because like I think what got me was like I think the girl was only like 2 or 3 years younger than him, and it wasn't a big deal in that end. But like
Mhm.
you had to register as a minor to even talk to them on that platform.
Yep.
It was like a weird social app, and it's like, okay, so you're 19, registered at 17. Like, why? It wasn't for that girl. It was for
Why would you do that?
Yeah,
Like, what's the point?
honestly.
I've heard of people like making themselves sound older just to get on a platform, but making yourself sound younger to get on a
Yeah.
platform, that's a little eh.
Oh yeah, that pissed me off, and you know, I'm happy I made the YouTube video. The one, you know, the young girl reached out to me and like thanked me afterwards.
Oh, good,
Yeah,
good.
so you know, it's just
That's
like
awesome.
he he literally could have said nothing and it would have been better.
Mhm. I one of the things I said to him when I was still trying to like when I wasn't aware of most of the fact like when most of the stuff that eventually came out hadn't come out and so it was still very murky and I was still trying to offer some semblance of support. I was like, "Dude, shut up. Stop saying things because you're just making it worse every time you say something. Like stop trying to speak things." And but
It yeah,
he kept
it
doing it.
was bad. You know, I feel bad because when that first happened, it didn't it like honestly between him and Ruby, like it seemed more. I know she was trying to set him up, and I understand why now.
Mhm.
But like at first, it was like okay, it seems like she's just trying to get him on something, and it was like weird,
Yeah.
awkward, maybe flirting at best. So I was like, okay, it seems more like you're trying to damage this guy, and then like you know
Yeah.
she ended up getting a little messed up for a while. But when this other girl stepped forward, you know, well, I saw her videos, and that's I made a video. I was like, guys, go take a look at it for yourself.
Mhm.
Because I went through it on the stream. Like, and then at one point I thought she was wrong because I'm old and don't know how to Snapchat work. And he jumped on it. He's like, yeah, 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 it was edited. And then everybody's like, no, Papa, you're just old and stupid. And I'm like, oh, okay. And then all of a sudden, like, he pretended he never said it,
Of course.
you know. And it's just like, oh, Jesus, what a
You know,
like,
one of our friends in the group chat, Ben Escherick, he
yeah.
made a video, like he made a Toby style video.
Did he?
Yeah, it's honestly hilarious. If you haven't seen it, I recommend it. It's really funny. But he made one, and then he was DM'd by Gemini because of the video he
Oh,
made,
Jesus.
and Gemini sent him like a paragraph or two of like and it was so like, oh my, like, look, dude, I have nothing but respect for your content, and I was just really hurt by it. Like, I don't want to make it a legal matter. And Ben took it down, and he texted us,
Oh,
and I was like, what is?
he was gonna make it a
Yeah,
legal matter.
he no, not like with it. He was just like, oh, like Ben came to me and was like, yeah, dude, I deleted it. I was like, why? He's like, Gemini texted me and like honestly, he was so respectful about it that like I couldn't like I just felt I had to respond with respect. I was like, dude, he just manipulated you.
Yeah,
He
no,
got you,
yeah,
dude. He was like,
he's good
I
at
was like,
that.
oh.
Well,
So he put it back up like 2 hours later.
I
But
almost didn't put up my video. But I asked the mom, you know, I asked both the mom, I guess, and like, don't give him. They said they told me they're just like put it up because
yeah.
he's full of shit, and like you know, I and it's crazy because I've talked to both of them, and like I came to this conclusion that like men and women have very different perspectives on like age.
Mhm.
Like for a guy, I think it's more of like if it's legal, it's okay kind of a thing. Very like
Yeah.
logical. For girls, it's like no, it's not. Like it's very gross for like even a 16-year-old and 20-year-old, even when it's legal, to even have a conversation. And like for me, I got you know, and like I just feel like on the male's perspective is represented so much better.
Yep.
You know, but it's something to consider. It's just so weird, but it's just such a
It was
weird thing,
such a
man.
weird situation. It was
Uh,
and it came out of like nowhere. It happened
yeah.
so rapidly.
Well,
Ugh.
good for Ruby at least for trying to do something. She
Yes.
got a little in over her head.
I will yeah, we
Um,
she was in a group chat with us, or she is, and she was telling us about it, and we were like, "Oh, whoa." So he's being a little weird because it started out with him just being a little weird. That was the context of it. But
right, yeah.
then and so she was like, "I want to make a video on it." And we are like, "Okay, well, like gather facts, like don't and like,
Yeah,
you
she
know,
presented
be
it so
smart about
poorly.
this."
Um,
Yeah,
she
she did
that
not present it well at all.
that was I think her big issue. And like, yeah, no, that's pretty much what it was. Like she did it so quick. It seemed like it was a day's worth of evidence. And it's like, what does this really
Mhm.
show? So, you know,
Didn't show much at all. Yeah.
right. So, you know, I guess it is what it is now. I think that she's doing okay now. Everything's died down on her end.
Yeah, we've all been talking to her lately, and she's doing way better. Like she's okay.
That's good. Then the
Yeah.
the whole N word thing died down too. I
Oh yeah.
I think it's like once she was like you know, I guess you could say innocent of whatever, then they
Of
were
the
just
first thing. Yeah.
yeah, they were like, okay. Which is I guess it came at a good time. I wonder who leaked that though. I know that Gemini didn't accidentally. I feel like Gemini didn't accidentally put her number on the screen. It seemed very intentional to me.
One of the people who I don't know if it was directly from them, But I know that one of the big proponents of leaking like the video of her saying the N word and the the not so great photos of her from when she was 13 or whatever was
Yeah.
one of the head admins of her Discord server. And
Yeah,
so
that's
he
nuts.
reposted it a bunch, and then whenever any other admins tried to take it down, he would get rid of their role permissions and then keep
Really?
reposting it.
Why
Yeah, so
why
they
does he
spammed it
even
like over and over.
why did he even have those pictures? That's weird and gross, no?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Yeah, when that was happening, like we were banning people out of the server that even talked about her pictures. I was like, I just told them to get rid. I don't want. Not happening in this. You know what I mean? Like, it's,
No,
I
no,
don't want
that's not even
picture.
something worth
She's
like
a
getting into at all.
minor. It's a minor. It's not. It's gross. You know.
Disgusting.
So she's get the hell out of here. But I know that at one point she wanted to talk, and then I guess she didn't want to anymore, which I understand completely. But if she ever wanted to talk about it, she's more than welcome to
Yeah.
conversation.
Yeah, there was a point where she was just like, so we were like, hey, like talking about this would be a good thing. She's like, no, I don't even want to talk about it. And we were like, okay, but like maybe consider it. Like you don't have to. Again, you don't have to. But like sometime, like just letting it sit by. It seemed like there's a lot coming against her right now. So silence was like damning in some way.
Yeah.
But
Well, it worked out. I think it washed over her.
yeah, it did.
Him and I could have taken a little advice from that.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, here we are.
Well, unfortunate situation, unfortunate time.
Mm-hmm.
So, you excited for Ryan Beard's stream?
Absolutely,
Yeah.
dude. Yeah, he's getting Call Me Carson to come on. That's
is he?
crazy.
Oh, Call Me. I
Yeah.
thought you said Call Me Not Carson. I'm like, who?
No,
Cares?
like Call Me Carson.
Really?
Like,
That's nuts, dude.
yeah.
He's surprising, man. He surprised the shit out of me with that. He's got like he's very like he's good. He's got I liked his content and everything. It's just like this was like bigger than I think anybody could have made.
Yeah.
At least
yeah,
from
absolutely.
TikTok, within the circle, it's huge. He's got a lot of people on there. You got Joe Rogan on there. That was fun.
Joe, that was he got Toby and then Gideon the Curly Daddy. He thought it was hilarious that he was sandwiched in between Toby and Joe Robe.
Yeah, and they left. They left.
Yeah.
Joe Robe's name is Curly Daddy. I saw that video. I was laughing.
Did they really?
I watched him donate like $5 or $10 and be like, "Hey, that's not me." Because it's fun. It's like a little bit of a meme.
Yeah, it's fun.
I went into. I figured out when Joe Robe was going on, and then I went into the chat. I had to.
Yeah,
I had
you
to.
have to.
Me and Joe.
You had a
Robe,
legal obligation.
Yeah, me and Joe Robe are. We're two halves of the same coin. I feel like he's more mommy, where I'm more daddy. Like, you know what I mean? And like,
oh, absolutely. I mean, it's in your name.
Yeah, right. But like he talks about, he makes decent points. I don't particularly care for all of them, but he makes decent points. And then like he hates me, but we do a similar thing to an extent. He just sticks to like the more politically correct field, and I'll just generally stick to like a more. I went in there and the first thing I did is I donated $500 the second he got on, and it said like Papa X Joe Robe. And then the whole chat, and he got so uncomfortable. He got like visibly angry that I was even there.
Wow.
And then Ryan Beard was like, "Oh, hey, like, would you talk to him?" And at the end of the stream, he was like, "I have so many people to talk to still," and it was like just so much bullshit. He's like, "I have friends to hang out with," and it's like, from my understanding, is all he does is teach piano, and
of course.
And like TikTok, which is fine. It's like, come on, bro.
Yeah.
You don't have time. It would be really big for, I think, both of us if he came on. Like, Joe Robe has a lot of followers, but I don't think he's doing anything with it. He's not.
I haven't really like, I didn't even know of Joe Robe until I joined in. I'm gonna be honest. I joined in the group chat that I'm in right now, and people were like, "Oh yeah, like Papa and Joe Robe, the ultimate." And I was like, "Who's Joe Robe?" And they were like, "What? You don't know Joe Robe?"
Yeah, it's funny because I started TikTok. I started in like March, but this account was in like April, and like he was somewhat big, and then like I started gaining on him a little bit, and then he blocked me because I made a point against him. He doesn't contest it, which is I think the only real issue I have with Joe Robe is that he's very weak in that respect. Like just respond to criticism. I understand Nick Foster jokes because he's like a but it's everybody. And then like I gained on him, and then like he got banned, and then he blew up. I don't know how he got crazy. I got banned, and then he exploded. I was like, damn.
Like,
okay, like, yeah, good for you, man.
How many is he at right now?
Probably like 3.8 to 4 mil right now.
Really? Really?
I
Jesus Christ.
yeah, everybody's eating it up. The vegan teacher thing I think got him the most. And it's so weird because like his first point on the vegan teacher, like it made sense. It was like, hey, you're gatekeeping the vegan community and you're just like scare tacticing people into, trying to go vegan. And then it got weird when she brought religion. She started trolling him hard. If you saw it,
Yeah.
legit trolling him. And I have 2 videos on the whole beef. I have a part 1 and part 2. And like, I was like, holy shit. Like I don't like her, but I love her. Because she was so funny. She was making songs about him.
What was she doing?
She would like make songs about him. First of all, the one thing she said where she's like, she made a decent point about equating like sexual assault on animals to humans, and she's like, the only way for you to get cow's milk is if the mother is constantly pregnant, and like that's messed up. It's non-consensual. I'm like, you know what? She has a good point. She's insane, but she has a really good point.
Yeah, but she's kind of making some sense.
Yeah. No, she has good points. She's just so crazy that like it doesn't
Yeah.
come off well. So like then he responded with, "Oh, I can't believe that you said that." And it's like, but why? It's true. Like the best argument you can make is like, well, they're animals. We don't care. Like that's all you got. But like that would have made him seem like a bad guy.
That wouldn't have gone over too well.
No, and
Especially
then
if you just say it outright.
Yeah, right. I would have said it. I'd be like, listen, I don't care.
Yeah.
Like, I do care. It's a good point, but I don't care. I'm still like that's
Yeah.
your best argument. But he can't say that. I could say
Oh my
that.
God.
Like nobody cares. Like, then he got really pissed about that. Then she started like she said something like, "You're just speaking so fast at people that they're not even like they don't have time to think about what you're saying." She was right. It was a really good hit. And then she started making songs about how he's going to hell, and she started singing it, like playing her guitar. And Joe Rogan fell for it over and over. And it's like, I think at this point, he said it on the live stream. He's like, yeah, I made a video about her and then it did really well, so I had to keep doing it. He's like stuck in the mentality of like, I got to keep my content going. I don't think he's pandering, but I think he's trapped in like, I got to make content.
Yeah.
And like, I feel bad for him,
Yeah.
for that. Cause like I was there and then I got like the ban. I'm actually like, I'm not unhappy about it. It's like, okay, I had decent, like for 2IM, I feel like that was more than I should have ever gotten. I'm like, I'm chilling.
Mm-hmm.
Then I killed all my traction on my TikTok account because I kept making videos like, I'm going live on Twitch, guy. They don't hit. I get like 10,000 views. But
yeah, they don't.
It's good for my stream, but then like I'm down. Yeah. I'm in low priority now because I fucked myself.
Yeah, I feel like I have my videos the last couple days have like, not done horribly. Like in the context of any sort of performance at all, like I never would have even expected to get like 500,000-600,000 views on any video ever. Like just even in terms of being like before I was ever a content creator, but in terms of how my videos usually do, the last couple of like handful of days have been like not okay, and I'm pretty sure like I did the same thing. I did my first ever video that I made where I advertised a Twitch stream. My stream had like 1,000+ viewers for like a solid 30 or 45 minutes. It was great. So I was like, man, I'm going to do this again. And then I did it again and it did completely awful.
Yeah. The algorithm is brutal. I didn't catch on to it for a while because I was already in a little bit low because I think there's priority tiers. So I was in like a little bit low priority after like my like permaban or whatever. So like I didn't expect to hit, and I usually didn't. Like I would get very, very slow progress, but I get decent views. And then like I just bogged it down so much with the ads. I'm like, you know what? This is hurting me now. Like I use my alt account more because my main account didn't get the creator fund.
Yeah.
But like I'd like to use the main account, but
Oh, your main account didn't get creator fund?
No, because I was banned, so they didn't give it
because
to
of the ban? Okay.
I asked them, I was like, hey, you verified me. Maybe I could get it back, and they never said anything. So I'm like, you know what? Like, I'm not trying to be that guy, but like, if I'm not gonna get paid for it, and I could, why not just post on my other account? Like, you know what I mean?
Exactly.
I feel like, of course, I want my message to get out there, but like, if you want this to be a job, you
gotta. That's the thing that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Is like, I'm also on the creator fund, and it's like I'm doing pretty okay. I know some people who have like coincidentally right after they joined the creator fund, their views like tanked.
Yeah,
like they are can't crack 100,000 views, which is really, really unfortunate. Like Dan Bam Bam is one of my favorite creators, and his videos were killing. Like he was hilarious. He was on a roll. And then he joined the creator fund, and they just have not been doing well at all lately. And so they're like, we don't know if it's actually the creator fund and they're low. Like it would make sense.
I think that it's not that it necessarily tanks views, but like it's so much more harsh because now
Yeah.
advertisers are involved.
Mm-hmm.
That like, I that's what I think it is. It's
Yeah.
like, so like if you like, some people's content won't take a hit at all, but then some people's content will like take a drastic hit. So
Yeah.
it's
And it
weird how it
seems like
works.
yeah, it seems like in some instances they're kind of like picking and choosing like creators who get it and do well or who like don't do well. And like I guess like in from the perspective of like if they're trying to like not lose money, like yeah, God knows how many people are in the creator fund and they can't just they have whatever it was $2 billion to distribute among
Yeah, I think it
creators and
was.
that can go pretty quick.
I'm
That like with
surprised they
the
did
amount.
it. I'm surprised they did it in general, and I feel like people are getting too much because, like, even like from an ad, unless there's just not a lot of people, because like I don't make a. I'm sure you make like exponentially more, but even like I'm making maybe $25 a day. To me, that's a
Yeah.
lot for posting for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Like I'll take like $150 a week. I don't care. That's great. On top of like my current income of Twitch, like that's nice, and like that's on
Yeah.
a small issue. That's only like 500K.
Yeah.
So then, like, you have like what, 2.5. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, what are you making? Like 250? You don't have to say it all if you don't
It's
want to.
oh, I'm for perfectly like I
Yeah.
make with the last couple days it's gone down, but it's inconsistent. It's definitely really inconsistent,
Hmm.
but I on average make between like 70 to 100 like 100 like the max that I made in one day, the most, and I don't think I'll ever hit it again, is like 230 in one day.
Damn, I had my
Like
max was like 80.
80, that's good.
Yeah.
That's 80 in a day for doing whatever,
It
like
was that
doing fuck
Robert
all.
Talapi video that he was going after Janelli.
Yeah, I
You
think I
know,
saw that one.
but
Yeah,
it's crazy because that's a lot. Unless there's just not a lot of people with 1 million+ followers. I feel like there's a lot, but maybe I'm just wrong.
well, that's the thing is like I know there's gotta be like there's people that in the group chat, like in the group chat, they talk about like, oh yeah, like I love this guy, like we should like consider. We're not adding anybody else to the group chat because they're like, all right, stop adding people. But they were like, oh yeah, this content creator is pretty cool. I'm like, oh, like how many followers do they have? I'm like, oh, like 1 or 2 million. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh,
it's
I've
like I've
never
never
heard of
heard
this
of them
person in my
before.
life.
Yes, I don't understand it. I'm like, wow. And like part of me is
It's
like, I'm old, so I feel like that's normal. But there's a lot of big creators that I on like totally different side of TikTok.
Yeah, I'm talking with there's an agency that I'm talking to and they represent people on TikTok and they have like they've given me, oh here some of the creators that we, and they're big creators, like one of them has like 3 or 4 million followers and I've
Mhm.
never seen their face before. Like that's so it's not just, yeah, I definitely think it's not just that like you're a boomer or whatever so you're not up with the, I'm like actively going through
It's
my
like, who the
FY like
is that,
looking for
right?
inspiration and stuff and I've never seen some of these people.
No, it's
It's
weird. It's
really weird.
really it's weird. It's very bizarre, but it's
Mhm.
certainly true. I don't know,
Yeah.
but
I think it has like, people, I know it's like just kind of a myth or like people are like, "Oh, you're on alt TikTok or you're on fashion TikTok or whatever." And like there are people think like there's different sides of TikTok, but I think that there is some merit to that. Like
yeah,
cuz
there is huge
there's
sizes.
definitely like fashion or makeup TikTokers who have millions of followers
Oh
that
yeah,
I'm never going to see cuz I don't have that on my FYP.
hmm it's true.
That's not happening.
It's true, honestly.
Mhm.
But yeah, no, and then like like all TikTok makeup TikTok. I don't know what Charlie's TikTok is, but Charlie TikTok.
She literally has her own TikTok. She doesn't need
There,
to worry about anything for the rest of her life.
no, she
Like she
doesn't.
is set.
She's gonna be a little messed up mentally because she's gonna be wrapping her whole mind around like likes and views, which is
Yeah.
an issue I think of even people like my age having on this app. Like, cause I'm new to like this type of segment, but like
Mhm.
I think it's gonna hit her worse because she's not gonna know how to like handle it when she crashes.
Yeah.
Um,
That's what I'm thinking about is like she's crazy, like people like her, people like Addison Ray are
mhm.
they're the faces of TikTok. Like they're even people who aren't on TikTok know who they are.
Yeah,
That's
no,
the
for
kind of
sure.
household name they are.
Which
And
is
so
nuts. Which is nuts.
and what she how old is Charlie? Like
Yeah,
16,
16.
17?
She's right in that range to date Gemini.
Yeah, perfect. Prime picking, man.
Oh, I hate bringing it up
Um
because I feel like I still for some reason I still feel bad. You know what I mean? Like I should.
I do like there is like some I just feel bad about the situation as a whole. I have been so like Gemini like lied to my face multiple times about stuff. So I don't have much respect for him anymore. And the way that he came at me, on one of my videos and calling, he's like, "You're a fake friend for like abandoning me."
Oh,
When
is
and I
that
was
who
like,
he referenced you in the video then when he said like some people were fake friends?
"Oh, did he really?"
He must have been talking about you because he
Oh
talked about
yeah,
somebody was like a fake friend in his video, and I went into that. I'm like, what do you mean he's a fake friend? Like, I wasn't about you, but I'm like, how is it a fake friend? If you did something wrong and they don't support you, that's not a fake friend. Like,
yep.
that's how like I really feel like he doesn't understand what he's doing is like wrong, and if he doesn't understand that it's wrong, then how can he grow as a person?
How? There's no way.
Yeah,
Like it's I don't, and I'm not trying to like say that there's some serious thing, but there's gotta be some sort of just like like a level of just social ineptness. Like he
yeah,
doesn't understand things like everybody else is understanding them. Like he does, like the fact that nobody, like I would bet a lot of money that like 10%, even less than 10% of the people who viewed his like admittance, him admitting to that, to
hmm
like, oh, she was 15, I was 19, would not do that even if they were guilty, because they know that that's not
bad.
what they would
Yeah,
do. That's
no,
bad.
yeah, no, it's bad. It's a bad thing that you wouldn't admit that.
No.
Like, yeah, I'm kind of a but it's okay. It's like,
Just a
maybe
little
not,
bit.
man.
You got Papa in your name. People are gonna be like, oh, that's
I've had that claim a while back. I had that claim. I wanted, a content creator in particular came after me. His name was One Guy's Opinion. Probably don't know him. He's on like the stupid boomer side of TikTok like me. Um,
well, certainly sounds like one guy's opinion.
yeah,
So.
yeah. And he came after me with like a lot of just like because in my earlier days I would do a lot of content during like the whole during the coronavirus and then the George Floyd situation. How engines were like up and
Yeah,
like
they were
so
really high.
a lot of young people, a lot of young girls especially, were saying really dumb shit. And like
Mhm.
I contest bad takes, not people. And it just happened that there are a lot of young girls saying it. And so like it's like, oh, you only go after young girls. Like I go after everybody, but as long as it's relevant. Like nowadays, it's like a lot of. I just talk to myself now because it's more interesting. But like a lot of like men are like jumping on top of it, saying like, no, this is wrong. And it's like, dude, come at me.
Come
Come
on.
on, come
Come
on.
on now.
I did today. Two people. They said I was being like transphobic because like there's this content creator. Do you know who Spooner Dude is?
Oh, I think I've heard of him.
Yeah, like
I think so.
he's an okay guy, and he's been doing this thing now where he's like trying to be antagonistic towards like the alt community because he's pissed off about Chris getting removed.
Yes,
So
I've seen.
he made a
Yeah.
video that's like there's only two genders, and then some girl made a video that's like where's the dress, and I'm like, dude, come on. I was like, that's calling for violence. I said there's a difference between calling for violence and being ignorant. I believe that there's more than two genders. I still would like to explore the thought process on that, but like you can't call for violence over somebody being ignorant. And then people were like,
Yep.
trans people die every day. I'm like, yeah, and that's completely irrelevant to what we're talking about right now. You
That's
don't get
That doesn't mean you should return it. That's like
yeah.
violence. It's like
Yeah, right. Well, their argument wasn't even that. Their argument was just basically that because I made a video clarifying that the reason that I was defending him was simply because calling to violence is wrong. And they're like, yeah, but trans people die every day. Like they're trying to wash my opinion away and try to make it seem like I pander to transphobic people. I'm like, dude, do you
mhm.
look at my content? There's this new rise of like, you just pander to your base, Papa. And it's like, dude, I talk about universal basic income. I talk about trans rights. I talk about women's rights, to talk about the lack of equity of women, or rather femininity in society. They don't hit because you don't watch it, but
Yep.
it's there. And then my followers are like, Papa, I don't think so. And I'm like, okay. But my followers
All right.
know how to hear a perspective that's wrong. Like my very devout like followers, they know that like I'll say something and it's like they're not gonna melt down over it because they don't like. I've said there's like one
Yeah.
two genders so many times, and they're just like, okay, Papa, but there's only two genders. I'm like, okay, I just disagree, but like I'm not gonna.
Whatever.
Yeah, time. Dude, slowly we'll get there.
Yeah. All only in due time. Not everything's gonna happen like right away.
Mm-hmm.
And
It
like
takes time.
that's some like when I see stuff like that with people posting like that like the person who was like, oh yeah, where does he work? What's his job? What's his
Yeah,
address?
yeah.
Like
Why?
it's like what's the like you just to speaks to me that it's like, oh, you just like saw this and you were like, you had the first gut instinct thought you
Was to
had.
ruin his
You're like,
life.
let me just post this real quick. Like, let me put this
Yeah.
thought out there. It's like, just think about it and think about like what you're saying. Think about
Yeah.
like what that means before you do it.
It's so crazy because those are the same people like, not to bring Joe Rogan back into it, but he has his comments often. He says like he's gotten some threats or whatever. Same people that are like defending, like, yeah, we understand Joe Rogan, but the same people that are like actively doxing people, which is why Joe Rogan made his comments blocked like
Yep.
that. It's like how could you do that, dude? Like how are you gonna? That's you can't do that just because you don't like his
Can't do that.
opinion. You know, it's like you guys got to think a little bit harder. But
Just think.
thinking is not something that TikTok encourages.
Not a lot of
uh,
many people come onto TikTok to think. You know, you don't have to think too hard to just do this kind of motion with your fingers, and then see something. Whatever your first emotion is, put that out there. It doesn't take too much
yeah,
thinking.
yeah. Unfortunately, it's like a lot of people who are progressive. Like they're safer even if they're wrong. They can say something
Mm,
stupid and like it's like oh okay, well it's okay because and
you're progressive.
yeah, right. It's like that's okay. It's like a politically correct thing to think. It's like okay,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So there's a little bit of
Yeah,
body armor there when it comes to that, but it is what it is.
it
And
is. It definitely is what it is. And it's
I
so weird. And me, like, the thing I'm thinking about a lot lately is like I'm thinking about like looking forward. Like I want to do like full time content creation
mhm.
and like working with like TikTok or like branching out to YouTube, streaming on Twitch. Which by the way, I'm still fucking waiting for Twitch to affiliate me. They won't. They haven't.
Really
They have my royalty tax interview form, that
okay.
thing you have to turn in on the onboarding process.
Mhm.
Turned it in, waited for a week and a half. They sent it back. It said, "Oh, we couldn't confirm it." I was like,
Oh
"Okay."
really? That
So I turned
sucks.
it back in. It's been almost a week again,
They
and they
haven't gotten
still
back to you.
haven't.
They're slow. Because I applied for
Yeah,
partner and they still haven't gotten back to me. And let's
that's
hope
what
I
I've
get.
a bunch of
Let's.
people. Partnership is like,
It's
you know.
hard to
Do you
get.
know Jay Schlatt on Twitch?
No, I don't.
You heard it? Okay, well, Jay Schlatt's big streamer on Twitch. He like concurrent viewers at one point was like 36 or 37,000 viewers,
That's
and he's going off, and he was entirely good set up to be a partner. Like he was
mm.
golden. And the one reason that he didn't get partnered was because when he was being monitored and evaluated for partnership, one of like I think whenever someone subbed or something, it says something like, "Hey, you like," and it was the fact that it had that in there. That was the
Well,
one thing, like something that said in it that they were like, "Oh no, we're not going to partner
then
you."
I'm never getting partnered because my
Nope.
fans are out of their mind. They're out of their mind.
Oh
It's
man.
it's whatever. I'll stay on TikTok. Yeah,
Yeah.
I could always stream on YouTube. It's not a terrible idea. It's very similar.
Yeah.
The difference is that they have their own built-in like Patreon thing where you could do like a subscription basis, and it's like you choose though. It doesn't have to be $5. It could be like $2. You get 70% of it too, which is nice.
That's nice.
And then like you do 3 different tiers, but you have to offer something different for each one of them. It's like I don't know what to offer you for like a $10 tier. Like I don't
I
know what the hell to do.
Yeah. I've been thinking about like, oh, I should start up a Patreon. It's like, what would I give people?
Yeah,
Like,
it's
I'll say hi to you for
yeah.
$2. I
I
don't know.
I think like that's the first tier is usually like, oh, you guys get like I'll put you in like a shout or not a shout out. You'll give them something in Discord, and then like the next tier is something else, or like maybe you just talk to members only sometimes. I don't know. I'm not even into that right now. I'm still
Yeah.
very much on. I like streaming on Twitch. I'd prefer to stay on Twitch.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. I love streaming on
but
Twitch.
Switch
It's
is
fun.
fun, and I have a lot of young followers, and like a lot of people have Amazon Prime.
Yeah.
Honestly,
Month of free Amazon Prime. All it takes. Oh, that's a good time. Hey, like if you have Amazon Prime, that means that you can sub to someone for free, and so
yeah,
it
give it to
only takes
Papa
one
God.
little click to sub to Papa Gut right here with your Amazon
Oh
Prime.
yeah,
That's all it takes.
you can't even get a sub. I was about to say, I was like, well, plug yourself, bro. Are you streaming right now?
No, me no.
You should. You should have streamed it.
No, I can't. So here's my thing with streaming. My laptop is
Oh
garbage.
yeah, yeah.
So streaming on here, if I stream Discord, like if I just stream my computer, like my
Hmm.
desktop, it will lag like crazy. It looks terrible. It's hard to
Yeah,
look at.
that makes
So
sense. Yeah.
the only way that I stream on Twitch right now, which is not ideal, but I'm moving into an apartment later in October, and so after that I'll be able to like get money for a computer and then I have an actual setup. The way that I stream right now is just off of my PS4, and I still like stream through the Discord app,
Right.
but and
Yeah.
that works. It has things built in that make it like I can have a camera or whatever, but I can't do Streamlabs, so I can't have sub notifications, I can't have this or
Oh
that.
yeah. I wonder how that works. Like, I guess I never thought of that.
Yeah.
Um.
It's a bit so it's not ideal, and that's why I've taken a little break from streaming is because like it every time I stream, it's a lot of effort and a lot of energy for just like it's fun. I love doing it, but
Mhm.
like I'm not making any money out of it, and as I approach getting into an apartment, time is kind of money and I need to save up
Yeah.
and
Right. That makes
I need
sense.
to be working, and it's like I can't have any like I can't have any subs things yet. I'm not even affiliated yet, so that wouldn't be happening. Like there's no like stream interaction. Like it's very really crude on PS4, and there's just not a lot of like customization I can do with it. It doesn't look like really whatever. So, but once I get into my apartment and I'm like, and I get a setup, I get a PC or just a gaming laptop. Even if I just get like a good laptop,
Yeah,
that'll be
yeah.
fine
If
for
you
me.
get a laptop, I would just recommend getting like a nice fan for it, like an external fan,
Yeah.
because that's what
hmm
the gaming laptops like. Obviously, they're a little more expensive overall, but like they overheat. So like that's really I
Yes.
would just recommend getting like a really nice one. Um,
Yep.
but yeah, I invested in a whole ass gaming PC just for this. I went at like an
Yeah.
NZXT, cost me like six with the tax and shipping. It was like $1,700.
Hey,
It was
that's pretty
it
good.
was good. It was a pre-built too. It's really nice too. I love it honestly.
Yeah.
And it worked out because this is my job now. So
Yeah. What can you run on it? Like, what do you think is like the peak of what you can run on there?
I don't know.
Okay.
I
You
have
don't
no idea.
know.
I use it like less for like big games and more for like just like streaming, like
Yeah.
and having a second monitor attached to it so I can
Right.
keep track. Because I tried playing a game called Remnant, and it runs a little
Remnant.
too
Oh yeah.
hot on stream for me to like play it. It like fucks up on my drivers, so I can't
Yeah.
run anything too good. But I stick to like stick to a lot of gig fan service games, like playing with my fans, which I like doing. I'm bad at the games like Fall Guys and Among Us, but like I like doing it. And then
Yeah.
like I'll play World of Warcraft for myself, honestly, which is going to be coming out soon. I'll probably do a 24-hour live stream myself once that comes out, and just like it's a WoW boomer live stream.
Nice.
And I guess I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do it for, because myself would be lame. And then
Right.
like yeah, that's pretty much it, man. I just hang out and play with these guys and fuck around. I play like PlayStation games on here too. They have PS Now. I don't know if you have that.
I don't have PS Now, but like I've been looking at it. I've been
It's cool.
eyeballing that.
It's cool, and I get to
Yeah.
play. I play on my computer. You could play the games on your computer. Yeah.
Oh, you can play them on your
Yeah,
computer?
the PS Now game. I think it's PS Now. Yeah, it's like PlayStation like 2 and 3 games, and I play them on my computer. So I played.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
I did a Heavy Rain Let's Play. I got to get that up on YouTube, and then I started playing the first God of War. I'm gonna try to play them all. And then
Nice.
like there's some people who enjoy. I have so many different people who enjoy different stuff. Like
Yep.
they just
I have the
hang
same
out.
thing.
They loved Heavy Rain. Like 100 people, they loved it, and then like everyone else, like I hate this game. Like oh,
Yeah.
I'm like, well, it's 12 in the morning, so I'm gonna play whatever. Because
Whatever you want, because
yeah,
it's
and then
midnight.
it's
Whatever.
cool. It's fun though. Who would have thought?
Yeah.
I played a game.
Um,
Oh, sorry, you go.
one thing. Oh yeah, just like in terms of on the topic of PS Now, I don't know if you've considered it all the Xbox Game Pass, but the Game Pass
I
is
heard about
like
it. Is it
it's
good?
pretty crazy. It's like I think it's especially on Xbox, it's like gonna be one of the best deals. So
It's cheap, right?
Xbox, uh, $15 a month, maybe. I think maybe a little less,
Hmm.
but you get access to like a huge all like Xbox like original Xbox games, Xbox 360 games, Xbox One games. When the Xbox Series X comes out, you're
That's
gonna get access
nuts.
to those games.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
Yeah,
And it's
and
something
you
I
can
think you can
play
play on the
them on
computer.
Xbox and PC.
Yeah, it's
So,
nuts. I think I might invest in that.
mhm.
Because I like the single player stuff. I haven't played single player games in such a long time because I
Mhm.
didn't have the time, and now I have plenty of time. Which
Yeah,
is
what were you doing before this? Just said it like what before like Twitch took off and like this TikTok stuff. What were you doing?
yeah. So I worked at a bus company for like 10 and a half years.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so I started out as like a part-time like bus cleaner, and then I got promoted to a full-time bus cleaner, which was like
Oh, wow.
which is the manager. When it paid
Yeah.
okay, like I made like $23 an hour doing that.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, and then I got a promote. My descent from that company started like the ending of last year. I got a promotion to the company as like a. It was like a utility guy, so that was huge. I was making good money. Like I was making $27 an hour. And it was just I liked the job. It was very physically demanding, but I loved it. But the management was really bad. And like I started getting really pissed, so I took a demotion. I started going back to school. They started cutting. I was in a union. They started cutting my benefits. Like I lost 2 weeks of my vacation. And then it was really messed up. The union didn't care. I was getting really pissed, and then like I started hitting on this, and I'm like, you know what? Let me start streaming. So I would stream this part time, and I would make okay money. I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna quit, and I'm gonna see how it goes. Worst case scenario, I could always go back. Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's like who cares? Like I'm gonna with 10 years meant nothing because like it's. It takes like 5 years to hit the pay gap that you need, and then it takes like another 5 to get all the vacation. But it's like whatever, who cares anymore?
Yeah,
So far, it's
exactly.
been working though. I like it. Like I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I make pretty decent money, and then like I have like I have very generous fans. Like from what I'm told, like I don't have a lot of followers, but like they donate more than most other streamers do.
That's awesome.
So I
That's
love I
fantastic.
love my fans. They're very nice people.
I love my fans too. My
I
fans
give
are
them
great
smooches.
people. Good type, good little. And if you have anybody in here, anybody from my end, I don't know.
There you
Oh
go.
my god, I forgot. I didn't even. I forgot to. I was so wrapped up in talking that I forgot to post about it. I'm gonna advertise that right
Oh,
now.
if you don't want to, if you think it'll hit your traction, you don't have to.
Oh, like I'm gonna post about it in my Discord, which has like 2,000
Oh,
people, and in
that
my
makes sense.
Instagram, like people
I have to do stuff like that. Fuck.
following on my Instagram.
I'm
Yeah.
so
Oh
bad with
snap.
that. I'm so bad with the advertising.
It's honestly like it especially like for me too, like I have pretty not like severe, but I have like a moderate to like kind of intense ADHD, so I get distracted pretty easily. So
Yeah.
like when I start things up, I'm already kind of like my mind is like, okay, I gotta set up this and I gotta set up that, and then so I'm like sometimes I'll
Yeah.
start and I'll be like, no one knows that I'm streaming. I forgot I have to do all this stuff.
Yeah, I get that too. Do you have
Yeah.
actual ADHD?
Yes, I was
Uh,
diagnosed like
um,
3-ish years ago.
really? Yeah, me too. I have it too. How do you feel about that
Uh,
trend that's like, oh my God, when I listen to this song, like it triggers my ADHD or whatever? Because there's ones like that's
so
it's just stupid.
the whole culture of like self-diagnosing ADHD or self-diagnosing depression is even like being like, oh yeah, I have it. It's like, well, yeah, like, or you could be very sad.
Man, you can just
Like,
be sad right now.
yeah. So it's it's a really weird line to walk because like maybe this person actually does have ADHD, but then there is that trend of people being like,
Mhm.
"Oh yeah, it triggers the ADHD in my brain." No,
Yeah,
no, it's not everybody has an ADHD part of their brain.
no.
That's
I've gotten in trouble because like you said, it's hard. The thing is that like you can kind of tell when somebody's bullshitting like something, whether it's a
mhm.
mental illness or anything. And then you'd be like, bro, I know they're lying. Like you're like, I know you're full of
Yep.
shit. And then it's like, but you
Yeah.
can't prove it, so now you look really bad. And people won't jump on it. It's like it's so shitty that people can jump on it. Like it's so they're so fine with like jumping on like a real struggle, and then like
Yep.
you get backlash for being like, I'm pretty sure you're full of shit. Because I don't mean to get too much into it, but there's a young girl on TikTok, that says that she has autism, and she says one of her things is that she pees herself.
Okay.
And I have a fiance and a girlfriend. My fiance used to work with the people with disabilities with autism, as
Yeah.
like a DSP, and my girlfriend is like used to do the same, and now she like as a manager, like she is a behavioral specialist for mostly people with autism and Down syndrome. And she's like, they've both been like, we've never heard that in our entire life. Like that's not like a
Right.
symptom. It's like it's very different, and like it's not politically correct to talk about, but like you can kind of tell if somebody has autism, and like high functioning autism means very differently than what other people say. And it's
Yep.
just like, ah man, it's just like, and you can't say like, hey, listen, like you're full of shit. Because like then you're the bad guy. It's like,
Yeah, then people are like, "Oh my gosh, you're like, come on, you have to what do you
yeah.
think these people are lying?"
Yeah, and it's like, well, if your whole thing is that you pee yourself, like that's incontinence. That's not autism.
Yeah, that's just
And then like even on top of it, my mom used to do a ton of charity work when she worked for White Castle. It's a fast food place. She
mhm.
was
Oh, I love White
oh
Castle. I got it
yeah.
last night.
Oh, did you? Yeah. Oh, that's great. Yes. No, she ran half of New York. So
Oh,
like
really?
she was big in the company. Yeah. No, she was
Wow.
big. She would do autism stuff and muscular dystrophy stuff all the time. And it's like never once did we figure that. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
And but
That doesn't it's not one of the things that comes to mind when you're like, "Oh yeah, this person is high function with autism," so they like
pee
pee their pants.
themselves, and then they're not really saying anything else. Like it's like, oh, I'm a little socially awkward. It's like there's a difference between being socially awkward, which I think is a new trend for younger people because like now phones are very prevalent. And
Yes.
there's a difference between that and like not understanding social cues. Because then it's also I've dated a couple of girls who have autism, and like it doesn't match because I'm very sarcastic, and they just
Yep.
don't get it, which is fair. But it's
Yeah.
just like one of the things. Oh no! What did you have going on? You said you had much.
Oh, just like no, for me, like I have so much to once I'm saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna get a computer and start streaming.
Oh
I
yeah.
barely know how this shit works. Like I like people like, oh yeah, I had to stop the stream the other day because like driver 3 and 4 was like overheating and I needed to do reroute. And I was like,
Yeah,
what? What did that
it'll
even
beat the shit out of
I
it's
don't even know what
brutal.
it even means.
It's
It's
brutal.
crazy.
It's yeah, it's one of those things where like when you're ready to like sit down and play to invest into it. Or
Mm-hmm.
like do whatever you're gonna do. Like, you just have to figure out how you're gonna monetize your platform, really. Because I think
Yeah.
TikTok is great, and even with the monetization, it's nice. But like, it's not full time job nice. Like,
No.
you know, there's probably people that very like outliers at best that are making like $100+ a day, which isn't that. That's actually a decent livable wage. But it's like
Yeah.
for you doing like how much, But it also depends because like how I post a lot depending on the. I also post a lot, and that's how I made like a decent amount of money. But like you gotta. It's basically a glorified advertisement platform,
Yep.
honestly.
That's like that is my my excitement with getting picked up like by this agency that's working that focuses mainly on TikTok is like that's gonna be. I've been like worrying about like, oh, what if my content goes down? Like I was working this all on myself. I didn't have representation. Like I need like, and with the plans that I had, I was like, doing this by myself is gonna be really really hell. But it can
Hmm.
work. I can do it. Like it'll be. I'll have to bust my ass, but I can do it.
Hmm.
So this is gonna like it's once I get into my apartment, that's the biggest thing in my mind right now is like I've been stuck in my parents' house. As soon as I started making money from this, I was like, oh fuck. Like this is gonna I can get out of here. I can be on my own. So like now love my parents, God bless them all. Like love my family. But like it's I'm not on my own schedule fully. Like I
No,
have
I
to
understand.
I got to get the dishes done by 9 a.m. I have to. There are chores that need to be out of their way for when they make dinner. I have stuff that still needs to be done, and so like they treat me like an adult, but I still feel like a kid
Yeah, it's
because
just
I'm
one
in
of
their
those things
house.
where you have to like get away to like okay. Yeah,
Yep.
it's that's your only next step. But that's good that you're able to get out. Like I'm looking for an apartment with it's tough because I live in New York, so like it's not easy
Mm-hmm.
to find. Very expensive. So $2,000 a month is like a 2 bedroom, 1 bath. So
Yep. It's rough.
doing my
It's
best.
doing your best. You're going. Yeah, exactly. It's like
Yeah.
all we can. And I'm one thing that's helping me like stay kind of grounded is reminding myself that like not everything has to happen right away. There was
Yeah.
one part of my brain that's like, oh, I want to make merch. I want to do this. I want to do that, and
Hmm.
it all needs to happen right now, or no one's gonna give a shit in a month. And I have to be like, no, just breathe. Like you're gonna be fine. People are around. It'll happen. It doesn't have to happen right
Yeah.
away. Of
It
course, I'm
takes
not gonna wait forever, but
no. Yeah. It takes I've had merch for a while. I don't really advertise it so nobody knows. So
you, you wear it. I'm like,
I wear
oh,
it, but
you have merch.
that's pretty much it. I wear it, and then that's pretty much it. But the merch is cool. I got some Denelli merch because he like when he blew up with that whole thing.
Yeah.
Good for him, man. Like, at least he was able to. And then I got some Joe Rogan merch coming
Oh,
in the mail. I
lovely.
want to see it.
That's
I want
fantastic.
to.
Hold on. Where is your merch available on? Because I want to get me one of those shirts.
Let me see, bro. It's crazy. Somebody's like, "Oh, Papa lives in New York." Like they got me. They think they got me. I have a PO box in my bio, guys. I've had it in there for a month. None of you knew. It has like not my address. I have it in like I went a few towns over, but like it's close. And you guys are acting like
Yeah.
it's a surprise that I live in New York. Go look in my bio and send me
Yeah.
a card, a nice card. Okay.
Nice. Oh, teespring.com is one of the places that I was looking at to like think about
Yeah,
starting merch.
it's one of the like it's a decent option because they make it and they send it out on demand. They charge
Yeah.
like $11 about. Well, they charge like 10.50 for like a regular shirt, and then you can set your price to whatever, and you'll get whatever extra. And then like there's like a shipping cost. It's decent, it seems like. Or you could buy your own shirts for like a lot cheaper, but then you have to get like however many shirts like printed. They're much cheaper, but then
Yeah.
like you have to hold them and stuff. I was like, I'm just gonna seems like a decent
Yeah.
idea. I keep my shirts like kind of cheap. I put them at like 18 or 19 bucks. I'm like, you know what? I'd rather people have the merch than necessarily make money off the merch.
Yep. If I make like t-shirts or merch, I want to price them around like between 15 to 20 bucks.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, yeah. 'Cause there's some people who put them up for like $30 or $40 for like a basic ass fucking
yeah. And
Jesus.
like props to people who are making money off of that. But
Yeah,
like sometimes people put out merch, like no offense to David Dobrik, but people put out merch and like, David Dobrik stuff says clickbait on it. And so no people who don't know who David Dobrik is
yeah,
aren't gonna look at that and be like, oh, who's the David Dobrik? Because it doesn't clue you in anywhere. Like, and I understand it's a thing on his channel, like that's some whatever kind of inside thing with his channel and his videos. But like and he's charging however much for it. What, like 30, $40 for a
yeah.
clickbait pair of like sleepy yoga pants or whatever?
Right. Yeah. Right. Well, maybe it's because they're embarrassed to like David Dobrik, so they're like, "Oh, this is good clickbait. Nobody will think
Yeah,
bad of
clickbait.
thing."
Oh, nobody's gonna look at me and be like, "Oh, you're a David Dobrik
Yeah,
fan."
unless you're already also a loser.
Yeah. So there's like already that guilt factor of being a David Dobrik fan.
Yeah,
Good to know.
exactly, exactly. Apparently, some of my followers have been telling me, "It's like, oh, Pop, I saw you. I think I saw you there, but I didn't want to say." It's like, "Yo, just come up to me and say hi."
Yeah.
Like one guy was like, "Hey, I think I saw you in Golden Corral." I'm like, "Bro, I was in Pennsylvania for like 2 days. If you had saw me, like that's the last, like I'm not gonna. Well, I'm gonna be in Pennsylvania ish somewhat soon. But like that was your chance, man. Say hi to me." I'm like, "Oh,
Yeah.
don't be
Yeah,
weird."
I
Be
had
like,
to
"Yo, Papa
on my
God."
live stream. I was like, people, if you guys see me, the only time that I was ever upset at someone coming up to me was when I was on a date like a week ago at a
Mhm.
park. I went to a park with this girl, and uh, we passed by this basketball court, and there was a bunch of people there, like some who were like kids and some who were like my age, and a big group of them was like, "Yo, Mr. Bruno, what's up?" And I was like, "Hey, what's going on, guys?" And then there was this one kid who was like, "Hey, are you Mr. Bruno?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he was like, "Oh, and and he called me the F word. I know I can't. I don't think I
Ah,
can say
yeah,
that on
no,
stream.
no,
And I was
no,
like,
please.
"I mean, yeah, yeah, you're right. Okay."
Why? That's
Um,
why. Why do people?
it's like, and so I walked away, and we went and we sat somewhere, and this kid found us, and he came up to me. It was like, "Hey, are you famous?" And I was like, "I mean, I don't like to think so." And he was like, "Are you famous?" I was like, "I mean, do you think I am?" He's like, "Yes or no, are you famous?" And I was like, "Yeah, okay, I'm famous. Yeah, sure." And he was like, "Okay, can I get a picture?" And I was like, in my head, I was like, there are two ways I can go about this. I could like stand up and just like deck him in the jaw, or I could just say yes. So I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's get a picture, bro." And he stood up, and so this kid looked like he was probably 14 or 15. He still
Yeah,
had
yeah, yeah,
braces.
yeah.
He was holding himself like he was a full grown man, but it was like, "Where are your parents, dude?"
It's young kids don't know how to talk to people.
Yeah.
But
So
that's a flex though, no, for your date.
yeah, it was cool for a second where it was like she already knew she found me through TikTok, and that's how we were talking.
Wow, look at
Um,
you, man. Look at
because
you.
it was all right. It was okay. It was okay. And because actually here for the chat, just a little. I'm taking it down in like a week. I just made it for shits and giggles. But chat, Mr. Bruno has a Tinder. Just throwing it out there. If you want to say
Whoa.
hi to Mr. Bruno, it's going down in like a week, like I said. So now's your chance.
Oh
Um,
shit. Look at that.
so that's how I made it as a joke. I mean, I was like, "Oh, she's actually kind of cool." So and so he was like, "All right, can I get a picture?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, dude." And so I stood up and took the picture with him, and I like put on my mask, and he's like, "Oh, you don't have to do that. I'm not gonna kiss you, bro." And I was like, "No, I'm just
Yeah,
gonna
I'm gonna
put
put
this
the mask
mask,
on because
okay?"
you're a stranger.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah,
That
you're a
makes
complete
perfect sense.
stranger, and I'm getting within 6 feet of you. So I was like, whatever. And so like I went to smile, and I went like this, and he was like, "Yo, what is that, dude?" And I was like, dude, just love, bro, peace and light. What? It's like, okay, so
Yes.
fine. And I was like, all right, I won't do that. And so I went like this, and he was like, "Yo, what is that, dude?" I was like, "Dude, it's a shaka." And he was like, "A shaka, I should beat your ass right now." I was like, "What do you want, man?"
Yeah,
And he
like
was
just
like,
take the
"All right."
picture and go away.
Yeah, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna take the picture." And so he started recording instead, and I was like, "Okay." So like backed up and took off my mask and sat down because like I knew he was trying to egg me on to get me to do something on
Yeah,
camera,
yeah,
and
yeah,
so I was
yeah.
like, "I'm not gonna I'm not falling for this shit, dude." And so I just sat down, and he was like, "Yo, what? You don't want a picture?" And I was like, "I'm like, okay, man. You're recording me. I'm okay." And he was like, "All right, hey, yo, you want to suck my?" Dick?" And I was like, "No, go away." And he was
Yeah.
like, "Whatever,
What a
man." I
little
was
asshole.
like, and that was the end of that.
I wonder if he was a
So
Papa God fan.
oh, probably. Oh, well, he didn't. Let's be honest. He didn't look like a Papa Gut fan.
You never
Like
know, man.
you never know. But I guess you're right. You do never know. But like, as long as you're not like that, guys, like,
Uh, yeah,
come
that's
up
like
to
very
me.
antagonistic.
Come up to me. Like, dude, what I don't. I'm happy to talk to people. I feel like a lot of people like see because what you see popularly like in the news or on your feed or whatever of people meeting celebrities is the celebrities being dickheads. Like you don't often see a whole lot of stuff
I
reposted of
I
a celebrity
wonder
being wholesome.
I wonder if there's a reason for that. Like honestly, like it's just like people are being assholes and they're just like, I'm tired of it. Like stop talking to me.
Yeah. So I understand that like especially like there are some people out there who are crazy like uber popular and who just don't get a break.
Hmm.
And so I can understand how that would
Yeah,
wear down on
yeah.
them. But, you know, people like one of the people, like someone like Harry, like this is a weird person to bring up, but Harry Styles, he's ridiculously amazing with everybody who comes up to him. He's he's crazy about he's a household name, and people come up to him all the time, and every single time he's just the coolest dude in the world. Like even when paparazzi are being just complete assholes and invading his space and being so disgusting to him, he's still like, hey, no thanks, guys. Like I'll have a good night, and like that's but you don't see that getting posted everywhere
Yeah,
because that's
yeah,
not what gets
yeah.
people's
Well,
attention.
no, because they want to hear the bad stuff. That's what they want.
Yeah, they
They
want to
want
they
the
want to trash people. They want to cancel
they
people.
want
They want to see people at their worst and
yeah,
like drag them for it.
Mr. Bruno melts down. There you
Yeah,
go.
that's probably what he was planning to
Yeah,
post.
yeah.
Like Mr. Bruno meltdown, not clickbait. Oh my god, he punched me in the face.
Yeah, right. Imagine.
Which I was so right. But no, totally good. Totally good.
Yeah, no, I haven't gotten any of that. Yeah, no, lucky me. I feel like I'm not gonna get people like that. I don't know. I
People who want to come up and like ask you to suck their dick.
yeah, like they troll.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's I get lucky, fortunately.
Lucky. Yeah,
I've had a
very
couple
lucky.
of bad people in like Discord. I do a thing every Saturday, like it's like sub Saturdays, like a little Q&A. So I have people come in. I'm like, you could ask me 2 questions. And like twice I've had somebody only like thank God only twice, but like they came in, they say the N-word. I'm like, why? Like what do you get out of it?
Why? Why you got to do that?
It's instantly draining for me. I'm just like that. I don't want to do that. I don't want to
Yeah.
talk to anybody else. It's just like you ruined my whole stream.
Yeah. Not gonna lie, that ruined like the rest of the date.
Yeah, yeah.
Like I was
Oh
just
yeah.
like, that was so draining. I don't even like
It's
whatever.
frustrating and like you can't be frustrated.
Yep. I can't.
Um,
Couldn't do anything about it. I had to like. It took a lot of willpower to just like breathe and not say like to just be like, no, sorry, man. Like I don't like. I'm not gonna continue with your shit,
yeah,
dude.
yeah. Did you get a second date though?
No, I will of my own
What?
doing. I was like, nah,
You didn't like her? Did you hit it or
no, no. It just like
what?
it just didn't vibe, and that's
All
all right.
right.
Like
All
it's
right.
whatever.
That's lame, dude.
Um,
We wanted to hear about some Bruno stories, you know?
and so you want to hear some Bruno?
We
What
want
do
to
you
hear
want to know?
I don't
What the hell you want to know? I got Bruno stories. I'll tell you some Bruno
What do you got?
stories.
You got anything saucy? You seem like the kind of guy who like you have a nice friendly front and then you got a little bit of crazy stuff going on there.
Yeah, I'm hiding the sex wall right behind this camera.
Maybe.
Like there's like a hole. Yeah.
Maybe. You see you
um,
might do that.
I mean, I definitely like I think a lot of people like I count myself as like I'm a pretty like I'm not afraid to say I'm a pretty sexual person. Like I enjoy it.
Mhm.
I enjoy this stuff. I'm very passionate about it. I don't
Okay.
I have dipped my toes into like the friends with benefits thing of like just doing it like casually,
Mhm.
and it can be fun. And I only do like I only do it with people that like I know and that I trust, and that like people who like get on Tinder and meet up with someone to do it like day one. It's like that stuff I'm not like really keen to jump into, but like I definitely do enjoy it, and I'm very I have a sort of a not like a high sort of standard for it or something, but like it's something that I feel like I like is especially in a relationship is important to me. I'm not going to say, "Oh, this person doesn't want to have sex that much. I'm going to break up with them. I'm not going to date them." But like
Right.
that sort of like physical interaction, especially in a relationship, is something that's very important to me because that's kind of how that's my love speech. That's how I talk that way.
No, I get that totally. I agree. These guys are going crazy. They're like, "Ah, Papa, what are you doing?" It's like, dude, it's not a big deal. It's like a
Dude,
nothing specific.
I don't care.
It's not a big thing. It's like we're just talking. We're open about
We're just talking about stuff, dude. It's no big deal.
yeah. We're just
Um,
vibing, guys. You freaking
yeah.
you
Let me
dirty.
open it up on it. Wait. There we go. Woo! We see. Oh, I want to see what the chat is saying. Hold on.
Someone like
Since I can't bring it up on my freaking.
someone just said, "I want to love talk with Mr. Bruno." I like that.
Jesus is God. Repent your sins
Yeah,
and give your
I
life to
just
Him.
saw that one. Too funny. It's too funny in here. This ain't
Yeah,
popping up.
that's how men are. It's not so what? How men can appreciate can appreciate and respect consensual sex.
Yeah, it's just a norm. I think it's just like a little bit of a yucky topic to a lot of these younger guys.
To some people, and I get it, but like I understand that some people like aren't comfortable with it, but I think that it's completely normal. I think that like especially just it's just sex. Like
Yeah.
there is a way to be completely gross and disrespectful and weird about it, but there is a way to be completely mature and understand like it's just sex,
Now,
guys.
Now this is something that you should talk about on your TikTok. No, just like new content, like sexy Mr. Bruno.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know?
Oh boy, that would go over. I mean, people are
You could
begging
pull
me
it
for an
off.
OnlyFans anyway, so
Yeah, people do that for me too. I made one as a joke, and it's nothing pornographic. It's all like PG-13. Just like I paint my stomach, and like
yeah,
yeah, and like they're Bob. When's the OnlyFans? Like, bro, look at my bio. Like, just look at my bio.
yeah.
But they don't do that.
Just take a look there. You're totally fine. I've honestly been thinking about like making an OnlyFans, but just making it a fucking joke,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
then
yeah.
like so
That's a good idea.
no one could post it anywhere, and so I'd be like people would only know who get into it.
Yeah, I wasn't gonna do. I think like it or anything. That's like a.
Oh no, no. I was post my feet. You know how much money people will pay for
Yeah,
feet
it's
pics
gross though because
nowadays?
they would pay for it. You could OnlyFans.
Yeah, they absolutely would. It'd be so easy money, but I have morals.
Oh yeah. It's like so weird. It's like you're better off showing something like your genitals. I feel like it's more
Yeah,
dignified.
if
It's
you're
more
gonna show your
dignified.
feet, you might as well show your
Well,
genitals.
feet. I feel like I just feel like it's like so that's like fetishy. It's weird. Like I would rather show my feet than my toes. Now my chat's going a little crazy with toe stuff. Papa toes. Yeah.
Really? Oh no. Oh no, not the toes of Papa Toes.
Yeah.
I'd pay for it. Hey, okay. Papa
That's Evan.
Sniffer's Toes. Oh my god. Do I have any pets? Yeah. Wait, here. Hold up. Hey, cat. Psst. Come here.
That the cat that just
Come here. Do you want to come
pooped
say
everywhere.
hi? Yes, absolutely.
Papa,
It
show
absolutely
me
is.
your feet. I'm not showing you my feet.
No. Want to come say hi? Come here. You're on camera, okay? So don't do anything stupid. This is one of my cats. Her name's Dottie. This is Dottie. Say hi, chat. This is a cat. This is all you're gonna get. Closest you're gonna get to seeing Bruno's. Okay.
Oh my
and then she has a
goodness.
twin sister named Olive somewhere. I don't know where she is. Olive's really shy. Yeah.
That-
There you go. Oh,
I have
Dottie,
a-
I have AIDS.
Dude, they're nuts, dude. My chat's nuts. Freaking.
I love it. I love it. I love it so much, dude.
So you did a thing with Ryan Beard? Didn't you do like a web? Did you do a podcast with him?
Yeah, I hopped on his beard hour for a little bit.
Oh, is that a thing?
Yeah, he
That's
like
cool.
I think it has kind of like that's I don't know if it's his regular thing, but like he just goes on for an hour and just kind of like chats. And so he brought me on one time, and we just talked about we talked about TikTok, we talked about the algorithm and everything. We talked about like dealing with gaining traction on TikTok because that was definitely like it's definitely been wholly overwhelming for me because it was especially like when the traction was. I think the peak that I reached of growth was like 130,000 followers in a day. That was
Wow.
dizzying. Like that, I didn't know how to deal with that.
That's crazy though.
It was crazy, yeah, and it affected my like, you can say like I could easily try to say that I was like, oh, like I'm just gonna keep doing what I want to do, but it was really like doing a number on my subconscious of being like people you have to think about how to keep this growth going. You have to think about how to like keep people appeased with this content. And it was really like had an effect.
The way the TikTok works fucks you up, man, because it's like it's so inconsistent and like like YouTube, if you make content, everyone that will have an opportunity to look at it. But on TikTok, like if you don't hit, like it makes you upset. And then like there's different priority tiers as well, and it's like it's so crazy. Like it doesn't even necessarily matter if your content's necessarily good. Like I'm not like I would everything I would put out would hit because like I was in that rhythm because you have like you're in high priority.
Yeah.
The second you get knocked down a little bit, and then you're just like, but that
it's
was
like
a
a
video.
sucker punch to the gut.
Yeah,
like it takes the wind out of it.
Yeah, and like now I don't care. Like I'm over it. I'm like, okay, that's just how it is. Like, but like it takes a lot because it can be so different depending on everything. It's nuts.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking about. Is like, I think I'm just a little lower on priority now because my stuff isn't hitting as quickly. I'm getting some views. It's doing okay.
I wouldn't stress about it because even if it goes down, it's like. It's not, you know what I mean? Like there's 100 different reasons why. Just make the content you like, and if you feel like you're getting a little crazy, like if you feel like you're forcing it, just take a break for a day. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
because you're gonna kick your own ass and just like rack your brain. Something that like you have no control.
Not gonna try to exactly.
Not everyone can be.
And that's the difference between with TikTok and YouTube, like you mentioned. Like with TikTok, guarantee like 30-40% of your followers are looking through your account for stuff, but the
Yeah,
rest of them
and
are
all of them
waiting
get a
until they see
notification.
you.
Yeah, all of them get a
Yes.
notification too.
Yep.
Um,
So the rest of them are like they're waiting to find you on their FYP, and that's when like I was like, oh, haha, here's my creator that I follow, but like I only really see him in my FYP, or if they just so happen to check the following list. But like
yeah,
YouTube,
yeah.
that shit's there. That's gonna like people who want to see your stuff have to look you up. Like most of them will look you up on YouTube, be like, oh, like let me see if he posts
Yeah,
new
that's
videos
like
or
the whole that's what's encouraged. Most people don't like look people up on
on
TikTok.
TikTok.
They'll
Yeah.
just be like, "Oh, is he on here?" And then like if you're lucky, they'll be like, "Yep, he's right here." But
Yep.
you
Here he
never
is.
know.
Just showed up as I opened the app. There he is.
Yeah,
So.
some people, some lucky few are those people for me. They're like, "Oh, I get all your
Mhm.
stuff," But like also, you gotta like I for some reason I have very dedicated followers, so like I'll get
Yeah.
solid, bad videos will get like 10, on my alt account. I'll get like 10 to 20K, but like it's like the most supportive 10 to 20K. It's weird because like somebody will make like a big video that I'll disagree with, and then I'll make a commentary on it, and like it'll get like a tenth of the views, but like they'll still look at it because of like my
Yeah.
followers are like Papa has spoken, and then, and it really people melt down. Some guy made a video today, and he's like, "Oh, can you tell your followers stop harassing me?" All the comments are Papa has spoken. You said something that I found wrong, and then you even said that it was wrong, and they just said Papa has spoken. They're not harassing you. Like you need to redefine what harassment is to you. Saying Papa has spoken isn't harassment. People are like everything's harassment to them if it's like any attention that feels, and that's negative attention for them because like I've spoken. That's like the meme.
Because they're disagreeing. They're being like, "Oh, this guy disagreed with you.
Yeah, it's like
you're done."
you're wrong. You know what I mean? Like that's basically
Yeah.
what they're saying, but they get so upset
But
about it.
dude, the power that like your word holds. Like when we were talking, the whole Gemini thing was coming out, and he was getting away with shit, and like Ruby was getting destroyed, and he was getting hella track. Like he was blowing up. He was
Mhm.
getting crazy followers and support. And so in our group chat, we were like, "Fuck, dude! Like he like look at all like he's getting away with it, and we know like he's bullshitting, but like there's nothing we can say because we'll get destroyed." As soon as we heard that you were getting involved, we were like,
What's that?
This is it."
The apology video?
The what like when around the time when you were bringing him on your live stream like the first time,
Yeah,
uh, we were like, okay, thank God. Like it was like a breath of fresh air. We were like, okay, Papa's gonna weigh in. That's
because I
that's
know
like
I know the original take was like it wasn't like helpful to Ruby because that's just how I perceived it. But then as it went on, I'm like, eh.
Yep.
And I feel like I gave him too many chances to speak on his piece, but I'm happy that like once he made his video and he was getting far too positive of attention, and like I was like, yeah, it's bullshit. That it started to very quickly shift, and it's crazy how it does because again, my videos didn't necessarily hit, but like once my followers saw my video and they sat in my live stream, all of them went on a thing is like, no, you're full of shit, and then all of a sudden everyone else was starting to think in that way where it's like, oh yeah, maybe this is bullshit because it was a
Yeah.
bad apology, and like I called it from the start. I watched
Yeah.
the video, I watched the TikTok video on my stream, and he's talking about how he made a YouTube video, and then I looked at it and I'm like, I guarantee you that he's banking on nobody watching his video because it's long and it's boring, and the first 3 minutes are rambling. It's like people are gonna watch it for 3 minutes, say, oh, he apologized, he's a good guy, and move on. I watched all 23 minutes of it, and it's like it was like
It's
ridiculous.
not.
It made me angry.
I didn't even need like I went through. I watched like little bits and pieces of it, and I only needed to watch little bits and pieces of his apology before he took it down to be like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah,
Like
it was bad.
what are you doing?
Yeah.
So and him taking it down just speaks to it. Like
He's just trying to say what he feels like he needs to say to be innocent rather than like the truth.
mm-hmm,
Yeah, that's why I say he doesn't really know what he's doing wrong,
does not know.
which is dangerous, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's real. Like he doesn't have no idea what's going on, and he's obviously like he's not going to therapy at all for at least there. What like
Yeah, that was
from
bullshit.
the beginning, people were like, he's not even going to therapy, and I was like, wow, what a fucking
What a
surprise.
Yeah, that one girl made the video, and I do edit her, and like I wasn't criticizing her, but I'm like, are you guys surprised? Like, who thought he was?
Yeah,
Who
yeah.
thought that he was? That's just like a victim thing. And like
There were plenty of people who thought there were people who were like whatever percentage of his guppy followers that were like, "Oh, we're here for you, bro. Like, we understand that you did something wrong. We forgive you, man. Like, good luck in therapy." It's like, shut
Yeah,
up.
yeah, right.
He's not in therapy.
He's not in therapy at all. It's ridiculous. It's
Yeah.
just so crazy. And I think the thing that got me the most when he was trying to say like, "Listen, lady," because he didn't say her name. The young girl, the 15-year-old, kept calling her
Yeah.
lady inside of the YouTube video he made. And he's like, "Listen,
What?
you know my he said at one point, you know my age, so like you're at fault too." And it's like that's not how it works, man.
Oh my
Not
god,
how it
dude.
works.
What's wrong? What's
Because
wrong with this kid?
so many young girls will say like, "Yeah, I thought that because I was getting attention from an older guy that like I was special, or like or there's like a power
Yeah.
dynamic there, and
Yeah.
and it's just like,
You
dude,
can't like you said, like it's like him being attracted to people who don't
yeah,
like who are less resistant, who won't be
they can
more
be
inclined to
manipulative.
be like,
They can be manipulated. They're a little like they're younger, they're impressionable, and like and what gets me like the most is that it wasn't even like if it was a one-off thing, a gross like 20-year-old guy talking to like a 16-year. Well, he was 19 and 15, so it's gross. But let's say he was 19, she was 15, and it was like a one-time thing because he was like a desperate loser. I would be like, it's still wrong, but like it's not predatory, if that makes sense. It comes from a place of him being a loser. But it
yeah,
was like so many different people who tried to manipulate. It's like that's a pattern. Like that's not
it's a
something.
pattern.
Yeah, that's not something that can. It's not like you know.
Yeah. And where I'm pretty sure where he was at the time, it was not legal, right? Because wasn't it? Didn't that
It
happen
was in
in
California.
California?
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that's
yeah.
illegal there.
What got me, what really like what set me off on my stream too was so it's in California. So in California, it doesn't matter if you're both 17, it's illegal. It's any minor engaging in sexual intercourse is like illegal.
Yep.
There's a provision in there that says that if it's vaginal intercourse, that it's up to the judge's discretion whether it's considered like assault or if you get on the red sex offenders list. They introduced a bill, SB 145. I don't know if you've heard of it. Where
I don't
basically,
think so.
yeah, all it does is it says that if it's anal or oral intercourse, then it's also subject to the judge's opinion. And the idea is so that like gay people who commit these types of acts also I disagree with it overall, but the idea is to treat everyone equally. So I get it.
Uh,
I get it. It's
I get
uncomfortable.
that.
It's uncomfortable. He started bringing it up, and he's like, "Yeah, guys, even if I did do it, it's okay because let's get this law." So he didn't know what it meant. He just thought it was generalized. And I'm like, bro, the fact that you're saying this means that like you're basically admitting it, you did it, and that this
You're
law protects you anyway,
yeah,
so you're good. It's like, bro, no, man, you like
an innocent.
you're not admitting to it.
Not just admit, yeah. And
You're
then the
not.
comment, it was so I was on stream when I was either on stream or just off stream. I had been talking with I was on Curly Daddy's stream. I was with Curly Daddy. I'm
Mm.
pretty sure Joe Bartolosi was there. I think Ryan Beard was there too. Ben Esherick, some other people that we talked to, and it was either on stream or we had just gotten off when we were like mulling over like, yeah, all this is bullshit. Like we don't know what's going on. And then out of nowhere, I'm pretty sure it was Ben was like, "Oh, Gemini just admitted to doing it." We're like,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's
"Okay,
like, what the hell?
there
Like,
goes the last 72 hours of all this bullshit."
and they
Like,
thought it would go away because she didn't take. She was like, "Yeah, I'll take the." Teeth said that she'll take the videos down. I wasn't convinced that was her wording, but whatever. I was like, he's like, "Yeah, she says you take it down." I was like, "Bro, your argument is that you got like duped by a 15-year-old into admitting to
yep,
something you did. Whoa, like she's such a bad person, dude."
sounds an awful like what you did to a 15-year-old.
Uh,
Like,
yeah, no,
wow, so you got to get used to being duped. Wouldn't you know what getting duped is like if you've already done it?
done it. Yeah,
Jesus.
I don't think he sees it though. It's good. At least he's privated his account, and like he was trying to like make me feel bad. He was like, "Dude, this is like I want to be able to support my family." Blah 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 blah. It's like, bro, I don't know what you want me to tell you. I felt bad. I gave him one break, and that is I didn't promote his video on my YouTube, on my TikTok, and it would have hit. I have like
Yeah.
it would have hit. Like there's a clip of me. It's a really harsh clip that all my followers wanted me to post that are on my Twitch streams. And it was like this time where it's a really aggressive clip. You'd have to look it up. But it's
Yeah.
basically he's like, "Do I look like the kind of guy who would push someone's books down and push them into a locker?" And I said, "No, but you look like you're the kind of guy who would manipulate a 15-year-old into sleeping with you." And it's a lot more harsh than that. And like that was if I posted that, like then it would have been much rougher.
Yeah.
But
Would have killed.
I felt too. I was like, that's a lot. Like that was a lot. And like I know
And
that
to
like
advertise specifically that, like,
yeah, no, it was like, you know what, like it's intense. It's an intense thing to do. So I'm not gonna post that, but people like I think like 35,000 people watch the YouTube video, and it's like that's enough for him to be like shooken. So maybe
yeah,
maybe he'll come back in another month, and if he does, like just shut up and don't talk to people.
don't talk to people. Stop. Just
Yeah, no
oh
more
my god.
apologies. This is not gonna work.
If he comes back and he's like, "Hey guys, so hope you enjoyed the clout you got off of hating on me. Let's
Oh
get
my
into it."
god.
Oh my god. I'm gonna lose
That
it.
was the worst, like, clout for going after him.
We're
Give me a
going after
break.
him. Oh my god.
Break. No,
Ooh.
but if he comes back, I like when he came back the last time, I left him alone until I saw his really shitty apology video. That's the only thing that got me to go back into it. I don't want to engage with him. I just want to stay away.
No, I've cut all ties. He messaged me on Discord and he was like, "Look, dude, give me another chance," and I didn't even answer. I was
Nah,
like,
yeah.
"Dude, no, like, you lied to me. You did this shit. Like, I'm not gonna associate with you. Why would I like?
Yeah, no,
Why
there's
would I
no
continue
because I
associating with
know
that?"
that you guys had like some weird anime thing you were supposed to do, right?
There was
He
was
mentioned
this
it to me, but
this
before it got all
artist
toxic.
this artist who made an animation of us, and it was pretty cute. It was cool. I really enjoyed it. It was really awesome. And he started talking with that artist, and then he started talking with TikTok, and they were like planning on making an animated series out of it. And he was like, "Do you want to be in this animated series?" I was like, "Whoa, that sounds really cool." And this was like literally a week before any of this shit happened, and then all of it happened, and I was like, "Yeah,
Pause. Yeah.
I can't do that. Nope.
Yeah. No, you gotta take it back
I
from it. That's so much
oh
going
my
on.
god." Right when it happened, and when all this stuff, like when as soon as it happened and Ruby posted it, I like went off on him, and I like cut ties with him, and then stuff started coming out where it was like maybe Ruby wasn't as like maybe it wasn't as clear cut as we thought,
Hmm.
and so I got back in touch with him, and I told him, and I literally apologized to him. I was like, dude, like I'm sorry that like I like reacted that way, like I just didn't give you a chance like to get your side of the story, and I talked to him for like 30 minutes about it on FaceTime, and the whole time I was telling it and I was saying all this stuff, he I should have fucking listened to the feeling in my gut, but I was
Hmm.
looking at him while I was saying this shit, and he like every now and then I would say something, and it was like I could see a look on his face where he was like reaffirming. It's like yes, 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 yes. Keep saying it
Yeah,
like that,
yeah, yeah. I know what you mean. Like,
like he
yeah,
was
you're right.
enjoying it, and I could see that he was like when he'd be like, "Yeah, thank you, man." And I'm like, I looked at him, and I'm like, that was a weird, like the way you said that, the way like, and just the way he was talking was like not very being like a sigh of relief, being
Hmm.
like I'm glad to have, but it was like yeah, like it was exactly what he wanted, what he was expecting, and I was like,
Yeah, he was getting what he wanted.
okay, like maybe I was like, all right, you know what? I was chalking it up to he's a weird dude, whatever. Like he's
No, but
socially,
that's the first defense I had of him too.
yeah,
That was my first
he's
defense. It's like, yeah, it's a weird guy. My first impression of him was that he was kind of like the weird dude in high school that like got cool and he doesn't know how to act. So I was
yep,
like, you know what? I get that. I'll give him a little bit of
yeah.
benefit of the doubt. And then it kind of gets worse, and it's like, you know,
No, he's a weird dude, but now he's also a weird dude. Like
yeah, no, he could have
not
played.
in a cool way.
He could have played it better. He could have been like, you know what, guys, I fucked up, and like I just didn't get it. Like I fucked up and I just didn't get it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I would have been like, okay, I'm gonna stay away from it. But like it had to be what the hell was not.
Kept doing it. How are there? What is this? I haven't watched much lately. Truly think Gemini is a psychopath. Ooh,
I
good
don't.
take.
I don't think he's truly a psychopath.
Yeah, I don't think it's a psychopath.
It's hard to say though. You never know, man. Like I think he just doesn't know what he's doing is wrong.
Mm-mm.
Who knows? Who knows?
Mm.
Who
No,
knows?
no,
Yeah,
no, no.
my chat's is weird, right? They're like, how are there 1,200 votes, but only 250 viewers? Oh, because people like pee pee and poo poo a lot.
Yeah. Wait, there's a what's going on? A vote?
There's a vote that what do you like better, pee pee or poo poo? Instead of doing
Oh
channel
God,
points, you guys should do bits instead. This way, if you guys want to be obnoxious and vote more,
I want to vote. How do I vote? Oh,
once the poll
did it?
comes
Oh,
back
poll
up.
ended. PP. PP.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think the guys like to have fun and put polls in there. I appreciate it. It keeps like the chat
That's
engaged.
awesome. That's so cool. I would have voted PP, just letting you know, chat.
Hey, I voted poo poo. I like peeing more because like it's not a hassle, but like poo poo's funny.
Poo poo's funny.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
okay. I enjoy. I guess that's what my knee jerk reaction is. That PP is like easier to do, and like I'm gonna be honest. When I take a pee, I get that like I get a feeling of like, that feels
Like
good. But then
satisfaction.
most of the time when I poo, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah,
Like
you got to eat
it's
more
like
fiber,
more.
man.
Yeah. So
The current
that's my
vote,
reasoning.
the current vote in chat is epic or cool for Prince of Bruin. You're
Epic or
so right
cool?
now people are saying epic, so you're winning. There's two
Epic.
people.
Let's
There's two
go.
people said cool and then 280. People are just blowing up their channel points and everything. It's funny.
Guys, y'all are too sweet. Come on now. Come on now.
That's the sweetest. So I'm gonna ask because I now I'm going to because somebody brought it up. I know that like there was like a little thing that you had going on where like you had ACAB in your bio and like you had made a
Yes.
video clarifying it, and so I was just wondering what are your general thoughts on like ACAB?
So I use it for. I understand that some people like that most people think that it means okay, all cops are bad, and that's what they believe, right? I'm like, yeah, I don't speak for those people. I speak for myself. Like, and if people want to know my shit on it, I made 2 videos on it now. Like, I've talked about it in my live streams. I talk about it in my comments. I made a couple videos on it. I made one when I was still growing, and then I made like actively gaining followers so that people could see it when they followed me. And then I made one like a couple weeks ago where I was like, oh, because I have a lot more followers now than I did when I made the original one. So in my for my the way that I believe in the term and the way that some other people that I know that believe it ever since like I've talked with them about it is the original term, all cops are bastards or bastardized. And when people hear that, they're like, oh, so you're calling cops bastards, like just like a bad word, like
Yeah.
that's what you're saying? It's like, no, no, no. Like the literal term of bastardized. Like the way that I look at it is that all cops are bastardized because when they enlisting in this police force, especially the one in the U.S., which was built on the foundation of like when slavery was abolished, and they're like, okay, we have all of these African American people who have nowhere to live, they have no jobs. Where are they gonna go? What are we gonna do with them? Oh, well, we can just make a place where we can like arrest them, and then they're like, we're starting up chain gangs now, and we have like black people were getting arrested after being released from slavery for loitering, for stealing gum from a shop, and it was basically just like a second slavery after it was abolished. Like it was a way to work around that. And of course they would arrest some people who weren't black, like if they were doing something absolutely horrid.
Yeah, like
But
they're
like
committing the normal amount of crime.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
like
an
if they're
actual crime.
yeah, right.
Not
That's
not an imaginary crime. So but the foundation was that, and so the idea of it is like the way that I look, I use my Instagram a lot more for like not just posting about like stuff on TikTok or promotions, but like that's the majority of where I post like resources for stuff about ACAP or about Black Lives Matter or about social justice movements going on. Like that's where I'm more vocal about that stuff. And there are a lot of people who don't like that, and I could not give less of a shit. And so I follow a bunch of leaders in the Black Lives Matter movement and people like who are involved with the NAACP, and they all hold the same belief, is that like people who are educated on that stuff, they were like, oh yeah, it means all cops are bastardized, because to say all cops are bad, that's such a blatant generalization. Like
right. I think that's the
to
most
say that they're
prominent.
all bad.
I think that's the most, because when you say all cops are bastardized, I think that's even different from all cops are bastards. Because like they
Yeah.
don't, nobody's the thing is, and it's like I understand what you're saying. Like from when you look at it from like that educated perspective, what you're saying makes sense because it's more about the system being bastardized more than anything else. But
Yeah.
most little ACAB girls on TikTok are like all cops are bastards and they're all bad people, and it's like that's where people have a problem. And it's like
Yeah.
it's one of those things, and like it's almost it's almost like a Denelli scenario. Like you're saying something specifically, well, you're actually saying something with a purpose, and then it's getting misassigned by both your followers and people who aren't following you, and
Yep.
that's where the whole issue comes in. People
That's
don't,
where it comes
yeah,
in.
no, people. That's the biggest problem, I think, because then and there's really no leaders on TikTok saying that. They're just
Yep.
like, yeah, all cops are bastards. Who cares? It's like,
Yeah.
well, that's not.
that's
Yeah,
where
I'm
it came
doing.
from. That was where I was not going to make a video on it. I didn't want to do was feel like I was responding to something out of the fear of being hated.
Hmm.
What I responded to wasn't that I was like, I'm getting hate. It was that people who follow me and enjoy my stuff and who I know are good people think I believe something that I don't believe.
Right. Yeah.
They think that I'm saying that all cops are bad people, and that's not what I believe.
Yeah.
Like I have family friends who are cops and they're great people. It's just there's a problem with policing in this country right now. The system is fucked. There's not like and fellow police officers aren't doing enough to change things right now. Like
Yeah.
they're
Right. Well,
like
because then
holding each
they.
other accountable
Yeah,
and
they're not.
active like being active for reform. It's not happening enough right now. So I
Well,
don't think they're all bad people.
police officers aren't going to do that, and most of it's because, like, most of the time somebody becomes a police officer, it's specifically because it's a good job
Yeah.
that doesn't have a lot of requirements.
Nope.
Honestly, like there are
Yeah.
people who do it because they're like great people who want to help the community. Most of them are like it's a consistent check with good benefits, and like you
Yep.
get in the system, and then like you follow the rules because if you don't buddy with the cops, then they're gonna like kick you out or something, or they're
Yeah.
it's a bad system, you know. I think it's been getting better, you know, because like when my I you know I know like people whose like grandfathers were police officers and like they legitimately hated black people. Like
Yep.
it's like grandfathers are like legit racists,
Hmm.
you know, and then like fathers are like a little bit better. And now we're
Yeah.
here and it's happened so fast that like people now there's a big problem. Like people now are a little naive to how bad it used to be and how quickly it got better in the past 10 to 15 years. Nuts
Yeah.
how much better. And we're not there yet, but it's like crazy. We've hit like the most social progress I think incredibly quickly out of like any generation. I feel like
Yeah.
massive from like 2010 to 2020. That 10 years was like fucking low. The past 50 years before that,
Crazy. It's
no.
crazy, and I feel like a lot of I'm not saying like things are still there are still like glaring issues, but as bad as it used to be,
No,
it
not as
was
bad as it used to be.
horrible,
And that's
literally awful.
it
People would
is.
lose their shit if it was how it was back then
Oh
today.
yeah, yeah, it would be bad. And I think part of it's
Go
the internet,
crazy.
which is for the better. Um,
Yeah.
but what I would say is like that's why right now there's a lot of people on here who talk about like you know systemic racism and getting rid of it. And like I'm a believer in systemic racism. At the very least, they're like yeah, okay, so systemic racism is illegal, but like this
Yeah.
those systems have still had an impact.
Yes.
And so like the biggest issue in my opinion is the fact that there's like it's impossible to climb your way out of poverty. And if you have no out from poverty, you're going to continue whatever cycle that you're in. So I
Exactly.
talk a lot about it and people don't see it because they're not the videos that hit. I talk a lot about universal basic income, about like providing equity to marginalized groups in the United States for them
Mhm.
to get their way out of like this situation to like build generational wealth. And nobody's really talking about others. Like I get it, like like change the funding of the police to reduce it in this area and add it to this area. It's not going to really work because that doesn't give people opportunities. Like people make the argument, like yeah, but if people weren't going to jail so much in these areas, then they'd have more money. And it's like, but they're still committing crimes because there's no alternative. So
There's no yeah, exactly.
like
Like, what do you if you were placed in that situation where there was no legit legal way out of this shit, and
yeah,
you're surrounded by this environment and this behavior of let's do some like shady illicit shit just to so we can get by. What
yeah.
are you gonna do?
And then you
Like,
have
you're not gonna be the next Bill Gates out of it.
no, no. And then you have a lot of young men and women in that community, young black men and women, who look at those people who, let's say, they're drug dealers, and they look up to them because one, they don't have father figures, because fathers in general, not just in the black community, have been really bad last generation.
Mhm.
Um, and then they're just gonna go towards that.
Yeah, because
And
that's
there's
what's
yeah,
there.
it's what's there. So we have an issue of lack of opportunity as well as a culture that's developed from that lack of opportunity. And like if you want to get rid of it, you have to like provide raw dollars in like a sensible way there, as well
Mhm.
as get community leaders to like promote not doing bad things. And nobody's really talking about it. Like, cause me, I have many streams. A lot of my followers, we talk about it all the time. Universal basic income, the idea of $1,000 a month to everybody 18 and older. Very progressive, uncomfortable idea. I've got it around a lot of people's heads to the point where it's like I have it in a sense where it's almost a conservative idea. because it provides you with your opportunity. Because people talk about, well, what about a
Yeah.
federal jobs program? It's like, well, the fundamentals of capitalism is filling in the holes where your government can't make it work. That's why we have like the internet technologies, because people had innovative ideas that took off. So like, no, I
Yep.
don't want a federal jobs program. I don't want somebody to get paid to do some arbitrary job. I'd rather give you $1,000 a month to do what you wanted and fit
Yeah.
yourself into the economy. That's my
Exactly.
thing. And that's where I come from a lot. But people, people aren't receptive to it. They don't really care. It's just something that's very difficult to think about.
Mm-hmm.
That's the biggest problem, though, is like I was really big into like, where are the solutions when the whole Black Lives Matter thing was going on.
That's yeah. That's I've thought about like that. Just that. With thinking about the impact that just that $1,000 a month to everybody,
Crazy.
however many are living below the poverty line right now, getting $1,000 a month added up together, that would change shit so much. Like that, there's so many people who that would change people's lives. Just $1,000, like
Oh
what,
yeah,
$12,000 a year?
that is the
Yeah, that's
poverty
not.
line. Imagine
Yeah,
that.
that is exact.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
my
it would be
god.
massively beneficial. Not even just to having
Yeah.
more money, but also more money going through the economy, and how much it would encourage you. Like if you're, because you don't get it if you're on welfare, but like imagine you're on welfare and you get $1,000 a month, and now you can work at McDonald's for
Yeah.
full time, and like that can be your job. And like I get it. It doesn't necessarily encourage people to better themselves, but right now with the way things are going, we're seeing a bigger disparity in jobs where it's either really shitty low tier jobs or really good high tier computer jobs mostly. It's going to
Yeah.
happen anyway. We're trending there. So if you want to encourage kids to like do better, then you need to go to the schools and say, "Hey, stop telling kids to pursue their dreams. It's a great idea to pursue your dreams, but like Germany pushes a lot of kids and like, hey, you don't know what you want to do? Do a trade. Those are hard to it's hard to do technology to it's hard for technology to take the place of like plumbing. It's a complicated job.
Yeah.
Like it's not like a mundane task where you're just like doing one thing. It's like there's so many different variables. It's almost impossible right now to automate it. So like encourage people to do things we need in the economy while, allowing kids to have the option of pursue. But like I don't have a dream. And like once I figured that out, my life got better. And like now I'm
Yeah.
doing this, so like it is my dream. But like people get so confused because you're 18 and you're like, what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to know what I want by now. I need to know what my dream is.
Yeah.
It's like, bro, if somebody was just like, yo, man,
Yeah.
like there's no dream, but like welding pays a lot. I would have been a welder.
Yeah.
That's it.
Well, it pays crazy.
I would have been a welder and I would have been happy. I'd be making like 80K right now. I would never have done this. And I would be
Yeah.
fine with it. I'd be fine making like 80K a year being a
That's
welder.
livable. You kidding me?
Very livable. So it's
Yeah.
like, but nobody says that.
Yeah. I think about like, I think about less of like following a dream and more of just giving myself something to push forward towards. Like giving myself because like if I like giving myself something to think about to keep me motivated, especially like, in especially in the context of like just in day to day, not even in the grand scheme of stuff, but in day to day stuff with my ADHD. If I don't have something that I'm going towards, I'm gonna fucking not get shit done. I
Yeah,
will
yeah,
get so
right.
easily distracted.
You
And
need,
so
like,
doing
a
that keeps me like on a track to
milestone.
get stuff done.
Well, it also
Yeah.
gets tricky too because with ADHD, like you get very impulsive sometimes. Yeah,
Yeah.
I have that.
Yeah.
I've had that before too. I have it. I have that problem, and I don't take any medication. I haven't taken medication since I was 16. I've been like, I feel like it's better. When I was on it,
Don't want to do it.
it messes you up a little, man. Like it makes you like a totally different person, and it's also a tough decision whether you want to give your kids drugs or not. And I don't blame my mom for giving me anything, but then like I'd be like, you know what? Like we know more now than we used to. So it's like the same thing with like autism where we know how to educate people better for your particular mental issue. I'd
Yep.
rather go in that path. And of course there's going to be people who are always going to need pills, but like a part of it's just like a lack of ignorance from like school systems on how to educate people with particular issues.
Yes.
And like I think it's like toxic in general to give your kids medication like that. But I get it, and I would never shame anybody who does it. But like we
Yeah.
definitely need to be better with mental health. But mental health experts in high school are dog shit.
Pretty
Gu-
fucking ass. Gonna be straight up with you.
Guidance counselors are very poor, very very bad. They existed for nothing. They were bad. I was in school once. And I was like, oh, shitty, man. Like one time I was in the school and somebody took my table and I said it. I was like jokingly, like, I'm going to, I said something very like rude. Like basically I'm going to beat the crap out of you. And they were like, I didn't mean it, but like, who cares if I didn't mean it? Like, I should have gotten in trouble. And the guidance
Yeah.
counselor's like, you didn't mean it, right? I'm like, no, I didn't. But those kids were terrified. That's not enough. I should have been suspended. And you should have been like, listen, do you understand what like you did? Like, those people legitimately thought that you meant that, and that like mentally distressed them, and like it's a bad thing.
It's a bad thing.
But like, I didn't. Yeah, I didn't mean it. It's like, but that shouldn't be enough. Who cares if I didn't mean it? At least
Yeah.
educate me on why you shouldn't say it. It's not about whether you
Yeah.
do or don't mean it. It's about the distress that you're going to cause somebody by saying something like that.
Exactly. And on the topic of like with taking like you said, taking meds for ADHD, like that was one of my reasons of not wanting to. Like I had a choice. I was like, I could take meds for this. My therapist encouraged me to take them
Mhm.
and be like, yeah, it could help you out a lot. It's like, okay, yeah, I could take them, but I have these friends in high school who are taking these meds and it's making them fucking crazy. Like they like are acting way differently. It's putting them on these weird mood swings. They're
Mhm.
taking them, they're having all these different like behaviors. And it's like, okay, it would make me focus, maybe. Like maybe it'll like it maybe that will, but what sort of changes is it going to have to the way that I approach stuff?
Yeah,
Like
no,
the way that I approach my work ethic or like how I go about my day? Like how's that going to change shit?
no, yeah, it's funny because like, yeah, man, when I took it, it just made me like somebody said it in my chat. He's like, I hate taking it because it made me like a zombie. That's like my effect it had. Like it turned me
Yeah.
into and it was just like too much. So
Mhm.
I'm happy I stopped taking it. I wish I had been better about it. 'Cause I went like cold turkey. I just stopped taking it, and like that messed me up
Yeah,
when I was like 16. But like now, we're good. You know
we're good.
why the fuck?
Speaking
Oh, why is it on
speaking of
emo's
chat,
only chat?
what the hell happened with
They're just
it was
spamming poggers. You guys,
speaking poggers?
it's because they turned off like the chat. So I just whatever. Um,
Wow.
So
Someone
anyway,
said
oh, what's up?
ADHD meds make me more responsible, but also don't make me eat anything, which is good for college. I mean, hey,
I
yeah.
guess I don't know. There's a way to manage it without the pills, but like if you need it, you need it. There's people that are on far worse things. So
Yeah.
what are you gonna do?
hmm
A lot of people love you in my chat, man.
Dude, guys. Hi, guys. Hi. Oh my gosh, come on, guys. You're too sweet. This is Papa's stream. Peggers.
We love the pogger. They kept
We
saying
love the
poggers, and
poggers.
now I'm like the only person in the world who says poggers unironically.
I love saying Pogger.
Me too,
I
man.
the first time that I did it, I think someone said someone said so like I was on a call with someone and I was like, "What's going on?" Like, and they're like, "Oh, like I got a new job today." I was like, "Oh, Poggers," and I was like, "What the fuck
Poggers. That's like
did I
weird,
just?"
man. Say that in public, you're like, what the hell's wrong?
Oh my god. So I'm
Um,
trying to like I'm saying it like semi unironically. Like I only ever really say it now if I'm like gaming. Like if I'm streaming, I'm
I say it
gaming,
on
and like
TikTok
some
now.
good shit happens, like oh that was poggers. But like if I'm in a
Poggers.
like legit conversation with someone, I'm sitting down with my family. Like if I'm at dinner with my family and I'm like yeah, so I'm closing in on promotion deal. My dad goes oh poggers. I'll throw up.
Haha.
Like that's
You don't want your dad to
that's
say poggers.
poggers.
Am I doing it right, son? I I do want to. We're gonna end it a little bit soon.
Yeah.
But somebody had asked about like what do you think about the whole Denelli situation? And I know a lot of people like stayed out of it because it was like it could be considered sensitive.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you wanted to give your take on that situation.
Yeah, it is a little the reason that I stayed out of it and also the reason that like cuz I was very tempted to make videos on both the Denali situation and the Gemini situation, but
Hmm.
it's like in the end I was like, "You know what? I'm going to like make a draft for a video, wait a day and then see how I feel about it before I post it." And so I did for both of them and I was like, "No, it feels like it would be more of just a knee-jerk reaction to make a video on it just to do it." So like and I don't like the idea of it's like just what I want to do with my account
Hmm.
personally is like not make too much videos on that stuff. Like the kind of videos that I made explaining ACAB and like trying to be as respectful as possible and be like, here, like these, I understand that like people have different viewpoints. That's what I
Yeah.
want to do.
Well, you have more time
And
to
I,
organize your thoughts too.
yeah. So with when it started originally coming out, I was like, the first video I saw was where it was a girl or a transgender woman who was like they were talking about something. They were talking about like their identity, and
Hmm.
they said like my voice doesn't match my face, but like, and then they lowered their voice and like, bro, beat the
Yeah.
fuck out of you or something.
But
I was like,
that girl was in on it. Like she was like
yeah,
totally
that was
chill
like,
with the Denelli thing. She was like, guys, it's a joke. Like stop going after him. And then he said the same
yeah,
thing back to her.
that's what so that was, I thought people were freaking out over that. I was like,
Hmm.
that was like the point of her video, was to be intentionally
Shocking.
shocking.
That's what it is. You know, and that's the
Because,
thing. It's the point of all their videos is to be shocking.
yeah. So, and then with the other stuff, like the other one that came out was like where it was like, at first you could presume was visibly a guy, and then they stood up and they had a skirt on, and then he was
Yeah.
like, and I was like, okay, like I guess like, you know, I can see how people would misconstrue this, and
Hmm.
like how people could be offended by this, but I was like, you know, oh, like it would, maybe it was a little distasteful. Maybe it was like, because this didn't seem like a video where the intent was to be shocking.
No.
It seemed like a video where the intent was to be like they were showing who they were. And so I was like,
Hmm.
okay, like maybe a little distasteful, but like whatever. Like it's a joke. It's just a joke. And so then like as it started coming out more, I was like, I could see like how some of the stuff that he posted could be viewed, like people could view that as homophobic or transphobic. I
Sure, yeah.
personally was not, like, I'm bisexual. I like, you know, I don't care if you're a guy, trans guy, trans girl, whoever the fuck you are. I don't give a shit. If I think you're cute and I think that you're cool, I
Yeah,
don't
right.
care.
You're attracted to the person. I understand that.
I wasn't offended by it. I understood that even though I wasn't, that doesn't mean that nobody else is. So I understand that people could be offended by it, but like the lengths that they took it to, the thing that really like confused me was that it was all these people who were fans of his who were coming to these people saying these things, and they were like, "This is your fault, Chris. Like this is all
Yeah,
your fault."
yeah. Yeah, that
It's
was
like
the biggest problem.
that's what I was like a little. I was like, okay,
How are
I
you going
don't
to
think
blame
I
him for
agree with that.
everything?
Yeah, because he, yes, he didn't. I'm acknowledge he didn't really do a
He
lot
could have done
to
more to
like
speak out
slow them
against it.
down.
He just kind of put it in the chat. He should have made a video. I understand his meme is not talking, but I said it every time. I was like, I understand he could have done more, but it doesn't mean that it's like his fault, you know.
Yeah,
And
he could have done more.
especially since like the whole thing, like I covered it like it was my job for like a week. Like I was all over the Chris situation. Like I was the first one defending him. Um, I was like big, like the person that was basically the biggest person against him was Hart Throbbert. I don't know if you know who that account is, like a 32-year-old gay man.
I don't think so.
He was the one who pushed it in a negative direction. What happened was basically like these things were like happening. Like Chris, some of his fans would be like a little toxic towards people. Then he got verified. Then Hart Throbbert decided to lie and tell people that like Denelli was being aggressive towards him in some capacity. Like he said like "fuck you" to him or something.
Oh yeah. I know this guy.
Then
Okay,
Chris,
yeah.
all Chris did was he put the audio up and said "oopsie daisy." I wish I saved the audio because he's played the whole audio in his live once. Then Robert was getting death, like he was getting like not all death threats. He was getting like harassment in his DMs, like they were calling him like slurs, which was really messed up. And then he blamed that on Chris's content rather than the fact that he lied about what Chris had said to him. And that's how it spiked. So like it's never right to be called a slur, but Robert generated this situation and then he tried to gaslight people and I dragged him for it. He was like the only reason that like I got Chris banned was cuz they were going to run a story about homophobia on TikTok on the New York Times and I didn't want him to get messed up. And I'm like, bro, I said, Rise, if you don't know what gaslighting is, this is what it is. The next couple of days, this article came out. Robert was like the central piece, like the central respected authority against Chris, and they dragged Chris in the article, the New York Times article. So I tore apart the article live, and as I'm in the article writer messages me and said, "Can we talk about it?"
That's funny because
Yeah.
I was live streaming on Twitch with my friends, with my friend Ben Estrick, Joshua Bowman, also Purple Nurple on TikTok, who's hilarious, guys. You should check him out. He's great. And then our friend Nick, who for whatever I don't know how he's done this, but he has like connections out the ass. Like he knows people at TikTok. He personally knows the writer of the article at the New York Times. So that's where like he was watching your stream and he got a message from the author that they wanted to talk to him, and he was like, "Oh, okay, I can get you guys in touch." Blah 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 blah. So
Yeah, somebody told me, I think it was a guy named Nick. They were like, "Hey, this guy, the girl wants to talk to you. You should reach out to her." I reached out to her on Twitter. Then Chris called me on TikTok, Instagram, and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm doing it right now." And then we had a conversation. In her defense, the article wasn't like as biased as it could have been against Chris. Like she mentioned
yeah,
like that Chris apologized before anything happened to him, and that like he was willing to stop, and they still banned him, which to me was a signal that it was cancel culture. And the worst thing is people are trying to like say like, guys, mass reportings don't do anything. Chris had 7 accounts taken down. If it was him, they would have IP banned him.
yep,
That's it. That's my whole argument against it. It happens. I got banned from a mass report. I got all I've done. Like I've said some very like on the line things. What I've gotten, I got my first week suspension was because I said to a black creator that like he was calling a young white girl, like a young white girl that didn't understand systemic racism. He said you're a racist inbred and like your parents are shit. So I said, bro, like that's not a way to get across that systemic racism exists.
yep,
He went into his Discord, told them to like mass report me. So I got a week on that. My next
of
ban
course.
was because I called out some girl for like the all men are bad, like kill all men narrative. And at the same time, I made like an insensitive joke towards a non-binary person because they were calling all straight people a disease. And both of them had their fan bases weaponized. They got me
What the
banned.
fuck?
They got me legit banned for a week, or like permanently banned. The next day they reversed it, and I think they got a punishment because like they were calling to get rid of me.
Oh, thank God.
But that's what like killed my traction, of course. That's when I stopped. Like I was at like a solid like minimum 10K like new people a day, yada yada yada. Then they took my Stitch away too.
Of course, of
But
course.
at least it's back now.
Yeah, okay. This is a little like very short interjection.
Mhm.
I only got Stitch like a week ago. When
Yeah,
Stitch first came out, and everyone was like, "Look at this Stitch." I had nowhere in my
it
thing
was
did it even say
weird.
it.
I think you might have had to update. I don't know. I updated and I
I
never updated again after that. And then they took my
yeah,
Stitches away specifically, and then I complained for a whole week straight. They gave them back, and then they removed them for everybody. I'm assuming it's because of people like I mean like people used it for the type of content that I was doing.
yeah,
That's why they used it.
yeah.
So like I
But
then they got rid of it and then they brought it back surprisingly, which I was happy about.
yeah, that's great. I finally was like, "Oh my God, I can make a Stitch now." So I made a Stitch, and it did great. So like, I'll do more Stitches. I
Yeah,
love
stitches are
Stitches.
they're fun. They're cool. They're like a really good
It's
way to like get one part of the video that you want somebody to hear about in your video and then
yep,
like reference the rest of it back and like look at it.
yep.
And I
Because
like
a
it for that.
duet can be good, but the format of it is very specific. So
Yeah.
like the format of you want to get one part that you need, just what you need to get your point across. Like Joe Bartolozzi, for example, his stitches are fucking hilarious because he gets what he needs and then
Mhm.
does his ridiculous like super ripped angry dude like
Yeah,
reaction to
yeah,
it.
and it gives you enough context from the original video, and then it allows you for some flexibility. Because like one time, one girl was like, "Hey, let's normalize sensory issues," and I just cut that part out, and I'm like, "Sounds good," and I just started screaming and pressing my light on my car on and off, and it's only because I could do it like that. It was why it
Yeah, you
happened.
couldn't duet it like that. You because then you'd
It's
be doing
fun.
it throughout the rest of
Yeah,
her
and nobody
video
would
already
get it.
playing.
Nobody would get it, but I wanted to
Nobody
hear
get it.
like it's fun though. I really enjoyed the stitches. They're
Yeah,
so.
I like it quite a bit. Good thing. Good thing.
But yeah, so I don't know if you have anything else you want to talk about. I know you have to go on to Ryan's stream in an hour.
Yes, I have about about an hour. Oh my God, what was I gonna? Oh, I had a little bit more I want to say on the Denelli thing.
Yeah, yeah.
Uh, yeah, I didn't. I I just personally like I didn't think most of this stuff was funny. That was just me. Like I was like, oh, it's not that. I don't find it that funny.
That's
I
fair.
can see how
I
somebody
gave
would
him
be.
some shit for it a while ago.
Yeah,
A while ago. There was something that there was like some non-binary person said something and he did a reaction to it and it was before this whole controversy and I'm like and they called him something and I was like that's not what it is. Like he's not being this, but I was like and besides his content's boring anyway. And I got a lot of backlash. And he did a video
wow.
where he just cried. It was funny. He took a joke really well. But like yeah, no, his content was nothing
Yeah,
special. I like it. I'm just like, it's what
yeah.
was it's his thing.
So I thought it was like, okay, it's I don't find it that funny. It's whatever. Like it's just not my. I can see how there are some things that he did that may be viewed as distasteful or may offend some people. But then like when the Toby thing started coming out, like when Toby made that video, and I was like, Toby is one of my like had looked up to Toby since I started TikTok. I love his shit. And then he put out that video, and I was like,
It was bad.
fucking, it was bad. And so I was just like, that's not what, like, you're gonna blame, like, he, yes, I understand that there is an element of his followers reflect this, like, emulate some of the themes of his content,
Yeah,
but like
right.
it was completely unfair to be like, one of the things where he was like, I mean, you say that you've told your followers to stop, but have they stopped? It's like,
Yeah, but there's only so much you could do.
there's only so much you can
It
do.
really.
Yes, he could have done a little, like, he could have done more. Yes, I understand that his meme is not talking, so that's why he didn't want to make a video talking.
Yeah, right.
But like, he how much is he gonna? What, he had like 2-3 million
Yeah, he
followers.
had a lot of
Want to get a
followers.
rank, like a lasso on all of that?
Yeah,
No,
right. And he was like a reaction channel. He wasn't really doing anything like crazy.
no.
So yeah, no.
Yeah, my point was that there's way worse on the app. There's
That
like, if you
nobody
people like,
cares about.
nobody cares. One person I saw was being like, "This is one of the most homophobic, transphobic creators on the app." I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah, no. I
No
honestly think a big
way.
part of it was because he was an easy target because he was a young guy who didn't defend himself.
And he's huge. He's
Because
big.
you don't
He had.
see. I've had some takes that like are borderline transphobic that I get. Like, there's a lot. I have a lot of takes that people interpret as transphobic. I
Mhm.
don't get backlash on it. Small creators speak out against me. Big creators stay away from me. Like Fat Raccoon, Alluring Skull, Joe Robe, all blocked me. They don't want to take the hit because I mean, if you're gonna say something, I'm gonna contest it.
Yeah, yeah,
And no one has like the guts to like do something about it except for smaller creators. Like Robert the Thief is one of them. I know he's a small creator, so you wouldn't know, but those are the only ones that have the balls to do anything about it.
yeah,
It's like, but like when it comes to like the easy guy, like, oh, Danelli, Chris, it's like, this is easy because like he doesn't really know, he's not thinking that way, so it's confusing to him and he doesn't talk.
yeah.
So they don't want to go after real transphobes or pedophiles for that. Nobody, like,
No,
no offense, but like nobody said anything about Gemini except for like us, honestly. Like I was
like
like,
this group.
yeah, it was weird. It wasn't even like a specific TikTok. Like, no, it wasn't like political TikTok. All TikTok didn't care. Political TikTok didn't care. Nobody cared except for like us. Like people
Within this weird side of TikTok, this
yeah, like
mesh of cultures.
like all of us who like we have like a mutual Discord, but like we have no real connection because our content styles are so
Yeah,
different.
yeah.
Like we're the only ones who said anything, and it's like, why? Like nobody
That was what was
cared.
so strange to me is people.
Yeah.
So I said one. This is what. Okay, this is something that kind of pissed me off when I was on live and I was talking about how is Chris gonna get banned for
Mhm.
this shit, and Gemini can have his account, and Gemini's doing
Yeah.
shit that's blatantly like that's illegal, and people were like, "Oh my god, you support Chris?" I was like, "Fuck, did I say the
Yeah.
words I
Yeah.
support Chris?" No,
It's like how is that?
no.
How is it that somebody who's honestly, I think that they're just insensitive jokes at best.
Exactly. They're
That gets
insensitive
banned.
jokes.
That gets banned. But like somebody who very easily could be perceived as a predator is fine.
Yep. No ban, no nothing. Like
Nothing.
he's still got TikTok in his pocket. Like whatever.
Yeah.
It's because he's been here since he's been here since it was Musically. He's an OG, so he
Maybe
gets
that's what
covered.
it is. I think that's just people don't care. That's the people. The people don't care. It's not. I don't blame TikTok
Yeah.
because it's TikTok. They're a company. It's the
Yeah.
people who don't care. They don't
Don't give a
care.
shit.
For some reason, all TikTok didn't care. Although, I mean, like, I don't know. I guess just nobody cared. Nobody really gave a shit.
Yeah, it's being selectively active about the things. Like it's unless they are like see it come up in their feed and they're like, oh my god, I'm so fucking rah. They're not gonna give a shit.
I think part of it was my understanding is like Ruby's not like she's like a male friendly account, like in the sense like she's one of the boys. Is that what people consider her? So like when she
Yeah.
is that like one of the
In a
things
way.
I don't like watch her, like that's not an offense to her, but like that's what I heard.
Yeah.
So like people didn't care when they because it's like, oh well, she's a girl that doesn't like girl, like that's how petty TikTok is.
Yeah.
So like they were like, well, who cares? They didn't give a shit because nobody, like no girl, like no alt or gay accounts liked her.
Yeah.
I
And
think that's
because
part
like
of it.
she is considered one of the boys and she has a lot of simps. lot of simps.
Yeah, those Sims weren't very nice to her, man. I'll
So
tell you
that has another thing to do with it. Is that like, yeah, there's not gonna be any like ultra progressive or gay like gay TikTok coming to her
Yeah, yeah.
because she like, it's thirst trapped heaven over there. Like
Well, thank God I haven't seen it.
that's the whole thing.
I've never looked at it before. Thank God.
Yeah, I just,
So
for your own sake, you never know if your FBI agent's watching through your phone. So like, yeah,
true.
just like
Yeah, I
that's a smart
prefer
move.
I prefer my thirst traps like 20 and older. You know.
Yeah, yeah. Next time I
Yeah.
make a thirst trap, that'll be see if that pops
Yeah.
up in your feed.
Yeah, yeah. I saw the one you had. It was I messaged you. I think I was like, bro, nice thirst trap, but that was a good one. Oh, I think I spent.
Thank
Yeah, yeah. It
you.
was a good one.
Thank you very
It
much.
was a
I
good.
didn't think about like when I oh fucking Christ. My people whenever I don't post very often, my old shit gets thrown into people's FYPs. So
Oh, really?
people like one video that I posted probably like 2 or 3 months ago when I had like maybe 500 followers.
Mm-hmm.
Like got thrown in there like it was something with nothing, and now one of them has like 1 or 200,000 likes, and I'm like, guys, this was before my content renaissance. You guys need to like get out of here, look away.
Yeah,
Don't.
it's
But
embarrassing. Right?
it's a little, obviously it was something that I was okay with. Like I was like it was in a phase where I was just starting out with TikTok, and I had a friend of mine who had more followers than me, and her and I were are like really 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 close friends, and she is a lot into like the fashion side of TikTok and like and body positivity and like mild thirst trapping here and there. And so I was like, oh, you know what? Like I was becoming more confident with my style. I was finding like literally like my clothing that I wear, like how I dress, like I like with my sexuality. And I was like, you know what? I'm gonna use TikTok as a way for this. And so I made those kind of TikToks. And then once the face hit, I was like, oh, okay. Then I had a bit of a content switch. But
Yeah,
now this
yeah.
old thirst trap fashion version of me is popping up, and people are like, yo, what the fuck's going on?
Yeah,
What
you
is
might.
it?
Yeah, try to go back to it for a little bit. You know, to
Yeah,
get
I'll
in there every
touch
once
on
in a
it.
while. Touch on it. So
Throw in a little variety.
anyway, let's shut it down here. I
Yes,
gotta pee pretty bad, but I'm definitely would like to have you back on at some point.
absolutely. Yeah, let me know.
It was a lot of fun, man. So thank you so much. I don't know if anyone...
Papa got to pee on my face, but just as a friend. There's nothing weird about that. I want him to pee on my face.